feels so simple, loving always. It feels just right, I can't explain it. So simple, loving always. It feels just right, I can't explain it. It feels so simple, loving always. It feels just right, I can't explain it.
If we open up our eyes, we'll see the light. You're diving deeper in my mind. We'll say goodbye. And if we lose ourselves, what will we find? We look to the horizon. Too long, we look to the horizon. These things that I'm realizing took me far too long. If we open up our eyes, we'll see the light. We'll see the light, yeah. You're diving deeper in my mind. We'll say goodbye. Goodbye, yeah. If we open up our eyes, you're diving deeper in my mind. I feel like we're lost at sea, and we've capsized. Yeah, we're drowning in the waves of reasons why. And if we lose ourselves, what will we find? We look to the horizon. That I'm realizing took me far too long. We look to the horizon. These things that I'm realizing took me far too long. If we open up our eyes, we'll see the light. We'll see the light, yeah. You're diving deeper in my mind. We'll say goodbye. We'll say goodbye, yeah.
So there I was, just living with my aunt and uncle on this little old dusty planet called Tatooine, and this crazy old man who I'd always called Uncle Ben for some real weird reason. I don't know why. I don't even know his real name.
Did he make
but he
rice?
just decided. Well, he didn't know, but he decided that we had to make our way to Alderaan to go to see all of these different people and do this thing, and we found this ragtag guy who was really weird with this kind of like huge dog thing in the weirdest cantina I've ever been in my life. And the band only knew one song as well. It was the bizarrest thing. They played the same song constantly. I don't understand it, but
that sounds like a wretched hive of scum and villainy. If I've ever heard one.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, there we go. That was my weekend.
Oh, that is quite a weekend. I'll give you that. Shout out
Brian,
to
I think
what?
Oh, go on. I was going to say I think you've turned my brightness way up because I look very bright on your screen and I looked very dark on my screen. So
I've changed 0 things in my settings.
I'm gonna take a quick screenshot and show you the difference between what I see and what you're showing. Just so you can see there's a difference. I look really, really bright.
I don't understand how. I'm cropping exactly what you're sending me from OBS. So
way weird.
Or not OBS,
okay.
but WebEx.
I've just posted the picture into chat, guys. Go and have a look at that because that's the top picture is what I actually look like, and the bottom picture is how Brian's displaying it. So,
is there a way to change brightness in WebEx? Because to me, you are that bright in WebEx.
What?
Yeah.
I wonder if I make my image really, really dark on my screen, if it will change it. Let me just.
This is what the pre-show is. Oh God, that looks demonic.
Oh gosh.
That's questionable at best.
How's that?
That looks pretty. That looks pretty normal. Yeah. Now we're overexposed again.
But now we're overexposed again, right? Okay. It's because I see on the chat about 10 seconds after I change it. So let me put it down there. Let's see if that goes back down in the next 10 seconds or so.
I don't know. I swear to you, this isn't my fault. I haven't changed anything. I don't even know how to change your brightness.
It's not darkening. Why is it not going darker? I don't know what it's doing. Oh, now I just look weird again.
I don't know.
Right.
You get yourself to where you want to be. How about that?
Well, it looks great on my screen, but then I look washed out and pale on show. So I think it's your.
All right. So Jay is clearly blaming me for this, and this is the exact image I'm receiving from him via WebEx.
Well, you guys can see the picture as to how my camera should actually be. So.
You want me to? There we go. Let me take a screen cap for you as well. I'll show you my WebEx. I'll show you what I'm seeing here.
Derek says Jay's bright because of the British sun. Yeah, you realise it's like 1:54 in the morning, so there's no sun outside. That bright is fine. Leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it now. It's really dark and dingy on my screen, but then Brian clearly has his monitor settings wrong or something like that.
My monitor settings, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Jay, man. Look at this. Look at that. That's straight from WebEx. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Wow. WebEx is doing a doozy then.
Regardless, let's get back to the pre-show here. We have a few subs already rolling in. Royal, thank you so much for that tier 1. And Chad as well with that tier 1. Says, hey guys, great to see you. Great to have you in chat. We have Bearded Nut Inc., which is, without a doubt, one of my new favorite Twitch usernames.
That's a great name. That's a great name.
Hi, guys. First time catching the show live, and we are very happy to have you. Hopefully, you get something out of it. Hopefully, it benefits you in some way.
Mm.
Or maybe you just enjoy our company, or you just really like seeing Jay overexposed.
Yeah, I'm really, really overexposed this week, but hey.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
Oh, boy. The Royal is saying that apparently we're teaching people how to make custom PBT keycaps today.
Sure. Yeah, I'm all set up for it. I've got my table to the side. I've got all the materials we're going to need.
Yeah.
Here's some I made earlier. We're going to do a whole Blue Peter thing today.
Yes. All joking aside, though, shout out to Brez with the tier 1 sub, Lunar Sama with the tier 1 sub, it's Derek with a Twitch Prime sub, LBI Bass with a tier 1 sub, and Bearded Nut Inc. with the Twitch Prime sub. Such a good username, man. Thank you so much, guys. And to J Chef for the 500 bits. Very, very kind
Thanks,
of you guys. Bearded Nut Inc.
What a great name. What a great name.
I always think that I'm clever, and then like I see other people's usernames or like Reddit comments, and I'm like, man, how come I never thought of that? People are freaking genius.
There's some really, really, really good names out there. We got the level 1 hype train up. There we go. Nice.
Oh, nice. On the hype train, boys.
Nice. I didn't even realize the hype train was running. I didn't even see it go.
GH Beats, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub. Uwu to you as well.
Uwu.
Uwu.
Mm.
Fantastic. So we'll be starting the show officially momentarily, guys. So if maybe you're new around here and wondering what's going on, this is just a bit of a pre-show. Kind of, you know, making sure everything's running well and everyone's doing all right.
Krasios says, would love to catch one of these, not in the middle of the night sometime. Yeah, so would I, actually. That'd be really good. That'd be really nice.
Well, maybe if you figure out your lighting, we can work on that, Jay.
Hey, my lighting's fine.
Uh-huh.
I've shown you the screenshot of what I see and what I'm broadcasting. What you're displaying is something completely different.
Hey, man. I can only display what you send to me.
Hey, I'm sure I've showed you what I'm sending. For those asking what I'm eating a pineapple yogurt. There you go, pineapple yogurt. Oh, sorry, yogurt. That's how you guys say it, isn't it? Yogurt.
How do you say it?
Yogurt.
Yogurt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yogurt.
All words are made up anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even matter. Henplug donates 20 bits and says, hey, don't have much money, but just wanted to say thanks for doing this stream. You are very welcome. And, you know...
Henplug, we're not really doing the PBT keycap thing, guys.
Oh.
Because
yes.
It was Henplug that was asking about it, and we're not really doing that.
Yes. So, someone named the Royal lied to you, and that was not our fault. But thank you so much for the 20 bits. And if you don't have money, you definitely don't never need to donate. You don't need to subscribe, don't need to donate. Just watching, definitely enough. Maybe spread the word a little bit. If you can maybe convince a friend to watch and they enjoy it as well, that's, even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aluminium. There you go.
Aluminum. There you go.
One of these days we should I think we've talked about this before, but we should do an episode where I try a British accent and you do the American accent, and we just do the entire show that way.
I can't do an American accent, that's the thing. Right, I'm gonna spend 2 minutes and try and fix my camera from my end, even though I'm pretty sure it's at your end where the issue is. Let me see what I can do here.
I mean, I haven't changed anything at all. I have no idea how this could be my fault.
I'm gonna fix this. I am gonna fix this because it just looks too weird when I'm looking at it. Right, let me see if that helps. See, the thing is, it takes like 10 seconds for it to change for me. Okay, that seems to have frozen my camera.
No. That was my fault. So,
okay.
This fun fact: when you have WebEx, like foremost on your screen, and you minimize it, it freezes it. You have to display something over the top of it for it not to freeze in OBS. Positively incredible. Talisman, thank you so much for the 111 bits.
Yeah, thank you, Talisman. Thank you. I am trying to adjust it so it looks at least reasonable. It seems that I'm not going to be able to get that to work.
I don't even know where. Is there something in WebEx where you can change brightness?
I don't think so. The problem is I'm seeing it like 10 seconds after I make the changes as well. But I've just basically made my camera up so it's almost pitch black and it's still really bright at your end. It's really, really weird. I just don't know what to do. Oh gosh, that's really bad.
That's really bad. I'm not really sure what to do either. I'm not seeing anything in WebEx.
It's just bizarre because it's like pitch black on my screen. I can barely see myself when I'm looking at the WebEx screen from my side.
Is there... Maybe there's a way to adjust the brightness in OBS? Let me check.
I don't know. It'll have to do. I've got a bit green there now. Let me undo the green, and then we'll just have to go with it. I think we'll just have to go with it.
I can apply filters.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that, I don't really know what to do for my end.
Yeah,
I don't see any kind of brightness adjustment inside OBS at least.
Yeah, we'll fix it for next week, guys. We'll just have to. I mean, it's literally pitch black on my screen right now.
I think you look fine personally. It doesn't look that bad to me, but
it just looks really bad to me. So yeah, I'm almost completely washed out on my own screen because I'm black in like the light. The room's pitch black behind me. I'll share a link with you guys again so you can see this is the difference, guys. This is the difference between don't know what happened. Wrecked rip link. There you go. So I don't know what happens, but yeah, that's the difference between what I see and what you guys are seeing. But anyway, it is what it is. Should we jump into the mail call anyway, Brian? Because we're running behind already.
Oh.
I'm going to keep this to a 2-hour show. So you do your mail call, then I'll do my mail call, and then let's go from there.
Okay, we'll do that. Mine is quite simple. I've only received one thing this week, and it was a little package from Robot Candy Co. I ordered several of these. I haven't actually opened one yet, but ordered several of these little kickstand things for keyboards.
Nice.
So the idea is that you put a couple seconds of work into this, and it's a little acrylic stand that you put together yourself, and it holds up and displays one of your fancy keyboards. So I've kind of been toying with the idea of getting maybe like a bookshelf or something of that nature, and putting it somewhere in my room and displaying my keyboards on that, as opposed to just having them in my closet, kind of just sat in one corner. So I want to I want to display that cool stuff. So I kind of figured that I'd maybe go out and try to find a bookshelf, which I haven't found yet, but I plan on using some stands with it, and maybe I can have something cool like Jay has.
Nice. That sounds really good.
Yeah. What about you?
Cool.
What did you get?
Well, the first thing I got this week was a set of die-sub keycaps. Now, these are really, really cool because they are the original Triumph Adler die-sub keycaps. So these are Cherry profile, made by Cherry back in the day, die-subs with some really, really cool legends. So we've got like Down and Micro, and then we've got Tab with Descending Tab, which is really interesting. So yeah, some really cool stuff. A really strange big ass enter that's skinny. All sorts of other stuff as well. So I got those. The best part about that set though is the 8U spacebar, which is fully Cherry compatible. So it takes a 6U stab or an 8U stab, but I will find an 8U bar for it, and I'll find some board to put that on at some point. The next thing I got was some artisans. So I got some Latralium keycaps in. I can't remember which ones these are. I'd have to look it up. But they're pretty nice. Grey, sparkly, that look like they'll go with Ashes or anything like that quite nicely. I also got 2 Kipuras in. So I got, the first one was the Maradona Kipura. I was hoping for the British Racing Green one, but I got the Maradona. So if anyone has the British Racing Green one and wants the Maradona, we could do a trade. And I also got the copper one as well. So Fatboy Carney's set for GMK Copper. That's really nice. Is this one? This is really, really nice Kipura. What else did I get? So I got another couple of things as well. I also got a ton of stabilizers, so a few different packs of stabilizers. So thank you, James, who's probably going to watch this tomorrow. Thank you for sending those across. They're Everglide ones. And I also got a full set of GMK Honeywell that's completely unopened. Now, this is the only version of the set that I didn't own, so I've now got this one as well. This is the Best Authority Set of the Year edition 2017. Completely sealed, brand new, never opened. So I'll find a board for that at some point. And then the final thing I got was someone reached out to me from Escape Keyboards the other day. And I'd never heard of them before, but they sent me a new product that they're working on to have a look at. So I'll be looking at these and opening them on stream on Sunday. But these are new Jelly Pom keycaps. So they asked me what my favorite color was, so I said I like green, and they sent me a green set of these Jelly Pom keycaps. Now they look a little thinner than the old Feng ones that I've got, but I'll try and dig them out and do a comparison live on stream on Sunday. But yeah, new product from these guys, Jelly keycaps. They're going to come in a range of colors and all sorts of stuff. So really interested to see how those go.
Are those cherry profile?
Yeah, cherry profile. Yeah, so could be interesting. I'll definitely give them a try. Obviously, any reviews will be 100% honest. They have sent them to me to have a look at and review, so that's exactly what I'm going to do on Sunday.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't even know if they support ISO, actually. I never asked. Doesn't look like it.
Speaking of ISO, did you get the red ISO enter in that Honeywell?
So I always
that's what
had.
you're looking for,
I always
right?
had. No, I always had the red ones.
Oh no, it's the normal one. That's right.
The grey ones. So the three sets of Honeywell that I've had over the years didn't have the grey ISO enter. Now 159, because he's an absolute baller, did send it to me. So I actually have it on my Joe one here. So it's up here about 6-7 weeks ago. So thank you very much to 159 for sending me that. But there should be one in that set, but I haven't unsealed it yet to see if it's in there or if it's another one of these phantom sets that doesn't have that particular enter keycap in it. So anyway, I do have one, at least one now, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. All right, shout out to Talisman Solutions for all the bits. He keeps donating 110, 111, 112, etc. So thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. I know, for real. And then another 100 bits as well from Bearded Nut Inc.
Nice, thank you guys, thank you.
I don't think I'll ever get tired of saying that name.
It's a great name, isn't it? The final thing I got as well is for a project that you guys might know that's coming up. I got a ton of magnets in. So these are custom made specifically for a set project, and we'll see how those go in a couple of weeks. There we go.
Fancy, fancy. All right, well, let's roll the intro, and we're going to get right into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host, as always, Quakeums, and I am joined by my lovely British co-host, Jay. And I am pretty sick, but I am on a bunch of Dayquil right now, and trying to get through this show. So that's my kind of plan at the moment. So if I sound a little sick, or if I seem a little off, that's probably why. I'm not feeling particularly great right now, and I apologize in advance for that. But, you know, the show must go on, and such is life. But regardless, Jay, how you doing today, man?
I am doing well. I'm feeling good. I'm not looking particularly good because you've messed up the color settings. But other than that, I'm doing all right. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. All right. We're gonna.
I need to see how many of those sly little digs I can get in.
Well, probably an infinite amount of them, but it doesn't really help because I'm telling you, man, it's not my fault. I haven't changed anything.
It is sabotage, yeah, Ham Time, you've got it right. It's definitely sabotage.
Yeah, see, I'm so jealous that Jay is just so much more attractive than I am that I have to intentionally sabotage the color spectrum of which I receive his video chat from across the world.
It's never looked this bad before, man. It's never looked like this before. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and your first instinct is to blame someone else. I like it. Very classic Jay.
Absolutely. Definitely blame someone else.
Anyways, all joking aside, we're going to roll into our news doc in just a moment here, which is not too long and not too short today. Then we have a little bit of a giveaway that we're going to do a bit later. We're going to do it after the news doc, but before the Q&A. It'll be a live in real-time giveaway for a hat, courtesy of Straight Classy over at straightclassy.com. And yeah, it's going to be pretty simple. We'll just give you a little bit of a buzzword, and then you'll have to type that in the chat, and then you'll be entered to win. We'll do it live on stream in one go. It'll be very simple, very easy, and yeah. So if you like giveaways, stick around for that. And yeah, let's talk about some news, shall we?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So first up this week we have. When I find the link and paste it in, we have the Bliss TKL. So this is the sequel. I'm right in saying this is the sequel to the Love TKL, right? That was run previously by Ellie. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that that's the case. But this is following the traditional DK Saver layout or the F13 TKL layout as we've seen. So this has been popularized recently by other boards such as the Jane CE. I think there was another couple of boards that have had it quite recently as well. It does use an isolated pressure mount system, which I assume means gaskets. Looking at a few of the diagrams earlier on today, so it's very much going to be some gaskets that are under pressure to isolate the plate. Comes in polished and coated brass with wing key and wing keyless tops. Alu full and Alu half plates as well, so you can have different plates, as well as a PP plate as well, so polypropylene plate in terms of the options. The board does come with a fixed cable as well, so no custom cables for this one. It is a fixed cable. We've seen that on some other boards quite recently as well, such as the J80. And you also get a customizable nameplate option, which comes in pink, silver, black, and a community choice, which is yet to be decided, with a custom PCB also designed by Martin Wutz, which will be pink as well, and Pantone matched, which is really impressive that they're going to Pantone match some PCBs.
Yeah, it'll also be 1.2 millimeters. So if you like the additional flex that a 1.2 millimeter PCB provides, that could be for you. Layout options, pretty standard stuff. Obviously, barring the F13, which we're starting to see a little bit more of now. So obviously all your usual TKL accoutrement layout style here. You have split shifts on either. You have stepped or unstepped caps lock, or you can do a 7U bottom row or 6.25U bottom row. All very normal stuff. Let's talk about the mounting system a little bit though, because this picture is kind of interesting. So this picture almost leads me to believe that there's almost like a separate mounting mechanism here, which you can kind of tighten or loosen to maybe have the plate have maybe a little more or a little less play, depending on what your typing style is more like.
Yeah, it does seem to look that way. I'd be interested to see some actual true renders of how this works, and maybe a split open case design so we can see how it all fits together. But you're absolutely right. It looks like there's two bars that compress around the plate with a layer of gasket underneath it. So it'd be interesting to see how that looks, how that feels, and how customizable that actually is in the real world too.
Yeah, and I think just touching on this kind of potential idea for a second, this could be like a really kind of trend moving forward in 2020 and maybe 2021, where you have things on the keyboard that are premium, but they also give you an adjustment in typing feel. And we've seen this somewhat recently on the new canoes that have that adjustable foot thing going on there.
Yeah,
where you can kind of usually we don't have that on custom keyboards. You get one angle and one angle only, and that's what you're stuck with, and that's people don't complain because it's a premium product. But what if we could have adjustable angles on customs? What if we could have adjustable plate depths and I'm forgetting the word I want to use here, but you can have more or less play with your plate in your typing field. And I think that's going to be a really big trend moving forward, is trying to put out these really nice custom kits that can be adjustable for the end user to kind of alter exactly how they want their typing experience to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be really interesting to see. So I'm excited to see how this one goes. In terms of the rest of the board, though, I do feel like it's very plain. It's just a very much a TKL from the top and the sides. I don't think there's a picture of the bottom anywhere in the thread. I have had a look through. I haven't joined the Discord, so I don't know if there's any further images posted on there. But other than that, it looks like just a normal TKL board with some cool bits on the inside.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gathering as well. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Doesn't look terribly different from this person's last project, the Love TKL. From the top, it looks pretty much just like the Leaf TKL. But yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about the pressure mounting system, because if this is some kind of adjustable setup, then that could be really interesting to try out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, it could be very interesting. I think the previous board that they did, I think that did quite well as well. I think they sold 100 units, so be interested to see how this goes. So yeah, I'm sure it'll do just fine.
Yep. Moving over to something that's actually in the group buy format right now. This is the Lyra, or Lyra, depending on if you prefer Jay or myself. That's how you have to decide that. No other reason.
Yeah, whichever of you prefer, it's either Lyra or Lyra. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So this is basically an extended 40%. There's probably about 800 bazillion different things to call this, and you'd probably be right and wrong simultaneous on all of them. But at the end of the day, this is very similar to something like the TKC Candy Bar, which we saw not too long ago. It's effectively a 4-row keyboard that has a ton of columns and a ton of functionality. So, this could be something for you if you're into that kind of thing. Couple specs real quick for you. 6-degree angle. They went with 7000 series aluminum here, too, which is kind of nice. You don't usually see that too often. Yeah, definitely a lot more durable. There's going to be a QMK PCB, hot swap, and Type-C. There's going to be 2 options, alpha and beta, and basically what that means is that's going to be your option. Let me find it. Here we go. This is going to choose which side you effectively want your quote-unquote numpad on. So the more standard, proper right-handed numpad is going to be the alpha, and then the left-handed situation here, as you can see, is going to be the beta PCB. So you're going to have your choice between those. The plate is going to be black palm, interestingly enough, standard 1.5 millimeter thickness. And it's going to be tray mount with some included O-rings, so kind of like a hybrid mounting style. The base price here is going to start at about $260. That includes your choice of PCB, so pretty decent price for a pretty decent looking piece of kit, honestly.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I'd even hesitate to call this tray mount because the mount points are around the edge. It's almost, you could almost argue in some cases that it's bottom mount.
Sure, yeah.
It's a hybrid between the two. I wouldn't say it's either or, but it's somewhere in between the two, which is unique and interesting. It's different. I think the case is fine. I think it looks okay. I think for the price point, it's pretty damn good. Especially when you consider some of the facts that it's using a premium grade of aluminium that we don't always use. 7 Series is difficult to machine. It's more costly to machine. It's also slightly denser, it's a little bit heavier as well.
Yeah, also they're going with a Cerakote finish for these. So you have, I'm not going to read them all here, but I'm going to show them on screen. So these are your choices for your Cerakote finish on this. So 7000 series aluminum, Cerakote finish. Honestly, not a bad price point for this.
Yeah, I think that blue titanium or the Robin Zeg blue look particularly attractive to me. Yeah. If I was going to pick one of these up, I'd probably be looking at one of those two.
I like
colors.
I like the polar blue.
Nice. Yeah,
or the blue. These are all pretty good, actually.
there's no bad colors in there.
Yeah, those are all pretty good.
So it's looking pretty good. It's interesting. A hot swap PCBs, I think it'll do just fine for the price. I think that's pretty good with everything included. Pet case, PCB, POM plate for $260 plus shipping, $37 worldwide shipping from Ukraine. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
$300 all in.
Yeah, $297 shipped for a full kit shipped to your door. That's not bad for a custom keyboard these days.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, the group buy did start on March and it ends on the 22nd of this month. So this one's only a 3-week group buy as opposed to maybe something more like a 4-week that we've been seeing more lately. So kind of an interesting time frame here. Estimated shipping is July. No surprise there. That's actually pretty quick, if anything, to be totally honest.
He does disclaimer that it might slip to the right and be a slightly different day. But hey, it wouldn't be a group buy if it didn't move at least somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
a lot of group buy runners share different schools of thought on whether they want to overpromise, underdeliver, or vice versa. So never really know what you're getting here. But it doesn't look incredible to me, but it looks pretty good for the price, and I like that. I like value.
I fully agree. Yeah. Thank you very much to Plume Keyboards as well for raiding with a party of 36 as well. Thank you very much. Welcome, guys. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Frothy KK as well, subscribe for 10 months. So Stash Builds as well, subscribe for 3 months on a 3-month streak. And Melodet subscribe for 22 months as well. So thank you very much, guys. Nice to catch up with you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Great to see you on the stream. Yeah,
Talisman also gifts a tier 1 sub to Plume Keyboards. So thank you very much, guys. Lots of wholesomeness going on here. Lots of subs.
So Plume raids and he gets a free sub. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
That's value, my friends. All right, so bam. This ends on the 22nd again of this month, so if you want to get on it, now is your chance. The group buy is unlimited, but the MOQ is 50, and there will only be one run ever, according to the group buy runner here. So
I'd kind of like to get one of these and a candy bar and just compare and contrast them together on at some point. That'd be quite interesting.
That could be pretty cool. I mean, yeah, they're both pretty similar layouts, pretty similar price points, and pretty similar mounting styles as well. So it'd definitely be a really interesting comparison. I think this particular layout, though, and as well as the candy bar, it's for very specific people. I feel like this layout is definitely not for everyone, but you know, for that particular niche, I think it does pretty well.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think this could be a layout that we see a lot more of coming forward. I think we'll I think I said that during the interest check as well, but I really do think we will see more of this type of layout coming.
Yeah, could be. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic. It's an interest check for the Alice Undefined 0/00 name pending. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they changed that because it's kind of a silly name. Anyways, this is I'm going to show some renders here. This is effectively just another Alice alternative. However, the reason I think this one is a little bit more interesting is actually the price point. So I'm going to take you through some pictures here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. It looks good, but nothing too new or inventive. It's effectively just another Alice clone. You get a 5-degree angle. There's going to be a PC option as well as an aluminum option. There's a brass badge on the back that you can see here. So what's cool about this is you can actually rotate it to accommodate different USB ports. So whether you're using a Alice style PCB that has a USB-C port or a mini USB port, you will be covered here. So I do like that feature quite a bit, and this board is actually compatible with all the project keyboard plates and PCBs for the Alice, of which there are a lot. So a lot of those out in the wild. So not hard at all to get your hands on a PCB or Alice plate, and you can use it here. So the starting price here without a PCB is actually only $250 estimated.
It's pretty good.
Obviously, it's an interest check, so take all of it with a grain of salt. But they're estimating $250 for a kit without a PCB. And even with a PCB, $300. So really not that expensive here if you're into the Alice-style layout and the Alice-style look and you want something that's kind of more of a premium metal keyboard feel. This could be a really good option for you. Very low price point.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of the interesting things as well is from the look of the renders, it actually looks like it's got a really low front bezel as well. So I'd be really interested to see if there's some more details when this actually does get into group buy, whereby they share the height of the board at the front edge and things like that. Because to me, this looks as though it is a little bit lower than the traditional Alice.
Yeah.
Maybe because they've forgone the weight underneath, because they've got that bar at the back. I think there's only 1 or 2 pictures of the bar at the back, but when you look at it, you can see that you can flip it around 180 degrees and it will move where the slot is for the USB port, which will allow, as you said, Brian, a few minutes ago, to extend it so people can use either the ones that have USB Mini or the ones that you have USB-C.
Yeah, so that's a really nice touch too.
It is, yeah, it's really, really useful. Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, they also have some renders. I think, is this the atomic purple in polycarbonate?
Yeah. So I think the HBCP ran in this quite recently, and we've seen 1 or 2 other boards in it, but it's a really nice looking.
That color is incredible in person, like incredible.
I'm still hoping Honey has one of those lying around at some point that I can buy off a HBCP in that color, because I think this looks great.
Yeah. Also, totally unrelated, but fun fact, just because I noticed it earlier. So at the end of this interest check thread, he just says A. And I don't know why, but that makes me laugh a lot. That it's just ended with A. Like as if he was supposed to type something there, but just didn't.
Do you know what made me laugh even more? The fact that when I looked at this, it's actually got 69 comments on it. I don't want to refresh the page because it probably hasn't now. But when I actually open this page up, it had 69 comments.
All right,
on it.
Yep, I'm never refreshing it. But I just love ending with the A. I don't know. That makes me happy. Regardless, I do think this is a pretty nice looking bit of kit. It's nothing new, it's nothing innovative, and it's nothing really interesting, but it does look pretty good, and it does hit a very nice price point in theory. So
yeah. If they stick at that price point and they can offer at that price point in that atomic purple PC, I will probably pick one of those up.
Yeah,
that's a good price.
Especially as low as $250. This would sell a lot. This would sell a lot of units at $250.
Even 300 with the with the PCB included. Yeah, that's a great price. That's an amazing price.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the QXP, not in terms of design, but like that's kind of what the QXP did with 60% back at that point too. Is it was it didn't really have a whole lot of extra design going on. It was just a top mount or sandwich mount board, I think actually, just a random sandwich mount board, brass weight, brass plate. That was it. But it was like $250 without a PCB. And it was, it gave you that closer to the higher end experience at more of a mid-tier price. And I think that's kind of what's going to be going on here as well, which is nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move over to some key sets then. It's an interest check for GMK Rouge by Amir. And when I first saw this, I thought this was themed around like a makeup palette or something like that, judging by this first picture. But then towards the end, he does say that this is inspired off of. I don't actually know the name of this because he doesn't actually say, but some old double shot cherry profile keycaps that he has pictured down here. And
yeah, I think it is definitely based off both. So it's based off that keycap set, and then it's also based off makeup as well. So I think the colours are based off the makeup, and then the actual styling of the caps is based off of those original boards as well. So I'm not actually sure what that original board is, but it looks kind of cool. Well, I know what the board is. I know the Cherry's an old Cherry 1800, but I mean with the keycaps on, I've never seen those particular caps before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, let's take a look at the set itself. It's a pretty lovely set, if I do say so myself. I do like the colors quite a bit here, but the entire kind of theory I think behind the design is these different 2, 3, and 4 alphanumerics here. So obviously on the 2 you can see that instead of your standard @ symbol there, if you're using Anzi layout, you have a heart, which I think is pretty iconic here. And well, one thing I do want to point out about that, though, and it has been mentioned about 800 million times in the comments of this thread, is the fact that the heart is actually a lower icon than what the @ symbol there would be, or let's say the other icons here. You can tell that the heart sits quite a bit lower than the rest. And you can also see from the inspiration picture here is that's actually correct. To have that, if you are, trying to do a copy of that particular icon, then this would be correct. But I gotta admit, I think it makes it look goofy. I think he should have that icon aligned. And he does address it, and he does say that he is trying to keep it more traditional, and that's why he does have it with the traditional look. And that's just what he's going with. But to me, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's a deal breaker.
Sides on this. I agree. I can see both sides of this. I actually think it looks nicer where it's a little bit lower in the different coloured edition of the 2 key. In the one where it's where it's just completely monotone across the set, it's really noticeable on that particular one. I think the different coloured ones, the accent coloured ones, do really help it a little bit. But even so, it's still not. It's still really noticeable. Even zoomed out from the key set, when you just glance at it, it just really stands out to. Well, I suspect it's probably just to keyboard nerds like you and I, Brian. But if I showed this to my wife, she probably wouldn't even notice. But perhaps it's just a keyboard nerd thing. But yeah, I do agree on that.
What is our community if not masters of splitting hairs? Honestly, that's
right.
That's
not a bad way of putting it.
Yeah. Regardless, I do like the colors of the set, even though I would actually pass on this set because of where that icon is. I would probably buy it were it lined up with the rest of the icons, but it just looks so out of place to me. It's all I can look at when I see this set.
But
otherwise,
not for me. I don't think. I get the theme. I can see why people would like it. I don't think it's something that I would buy personally. It just feels it doesn't feel quite right to me.
Yeah. Totally understandable.
But then again, just personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to theirs. Kits look good though. I think the kit breakdown looks good. Should we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So base kit looks like it's going to be quite a cheap base kit. It has got the standard 60% TKL and alternate bottom row kind of layout with HHKB support, 65% support as well. So it covers most boards that you'll need these days. As long as you're an ANSI user, ISO users, you will have to buy the numpad kit, as will 1800 users. But the base kit itself looks pretty good, relatively cheap, because it's a monotone set as well. There's not much needed for additional keys. So there's no additional tab keys here or anything like that to use a different set of modifiers or an accent enter or anything like that. But you do have the standard colored keys for the 1, 2, 3, and 4, or you can use the alternate accent keys for those if you do so wish. Jumping over to the next set, which is the numpad stroke ISO and a couple of other bits and pieces in there as well. I think it's got end and page down for those 1800 layouts, which actually makes a lot of sense to put those in this set rather than in this kit rather than having them in the base kit. We usually do see those particular keys in the base kit. I think that makes a lot of sense to put those two in there. It reduces your base kit down again, and I think that's how Emir's been able to justify having the 4 accent keys for the for row 1 in there as well. Basic ISO support as well, so there is ISO coverage as well as the correct 2 key. If you don't want to use the heart key, you can get the correct 2 at key in this set too. And then finally, we've got a small 40-stroke split spacebar set, which covers pretty much everything. It's not a great 40 set, but it's not a terrible one either, and it also has the extra B for Alice layout users and a couple of 1 new blanks as well. So I think that looks pretty good in terms of the kit breakdown. I think that numpad is a pretty clever idea to put the end and page down in there. I don't think we've ever seen that before in a numpad set.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I assume, like you mentioned, he probably only did that to be able to justify the extra 4 accent 1 through 4 keys. Otherwise, those probably would have been in the base set. But I do agree that it does make more sense to put it with the numpad, because generally speaking, the people that are going to be using all those keys are going to be using all of them together. So totally it makes sense there. But with this base kit breakdown, I do think that you could hit a $100 price point with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I see no reason why that couldn't be a $100 base kit. It's a pretty small damn base kit there. So yeah.
Yeah, but of course we won't know until it actually launches. Interestingly enough, it will actually be running on TX keyboards in America, and it will launch on June 1st and run the entire month of June. So, bam, we actually have a confirmed full date. I like that. I like seeing that in interest checks.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yep.
Cool. All right. Moving on, we have the interest check for GMK Boneyard by Tom Burry here. And so if you're unfamiliar with what Boneyard is, it was basically a supplemental kit that was offered during the GMK Carbon Round 2 group buy. And it actually gained quite a bit of popularity and success, and a lot of people are into it. But alas, nobody's really able to find it nowadays. And some people are struggling for it, but because it's so popular, he has decided that he wants to just do a run of Boneyard alone. So you get the Carbon Boneyard all in one, kind of this monochrome. He actually does. Well, he doesn't have renders, but he has pictures of what it's going to look like, because this is the previous Boneyard. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I've always enjoyed the Boneyard, but I'm glad that he's bringing it to its own set, because I'm not the biggest fan of GMK Carbon, but I really like the Boneyard.
Yeah, I've always liked the Boneyard set since you first did it, and I was really sad that I didn't pick it up. And I think the kit breakdowns look broadly okay as well. I think this is fairly well thought out. Probably, I think from reading the interest check thread earlier on, there's a couple of changes it's going to make, but yeah, pretty good breakdown. So even the base kit covers everything, including numpad and ISO, so it'll be a little bit more expensive than the kit we just looked at for Rouge, I would have thought. But you've also got everything else in there as well, such as HHKBs, different spacebar options. Pretty much everything's covered on this particular set. The only comment I'd have is on the ISO. Please don't use the same key for row 3 and row 4 when you keys. I'm past the point of caring. If I can't have UK ISO, just don't make them the same key. That's all I would say on that particular aspect. The 40% kit, again, looks pretty good. Very similar to the last kit that we looked through, if not almost identical. I think it is identical to the last kit. So covers a lot of stuff, but does have a 2U shift in there as well. So to support those odd, weird bottom row layouts, Z row layouts that some keyboards have. What keyboard is it that has that 2U shift and it changes the stagger?
2U
shift? GK61? Yeah, it's the
There's-
GK61 or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of boards that were ran, particularly in China. I know in the Eastern communities, it's actually, or at least at one point, it was very common to have arrow keys on your 60% keyboards, and we saw dedicated plates for that on things like the COD 67, the Alpha X2.
Yeah,
a lot of those other Eastern designers like putting out plates that support that that weird stagger 2U shift row there.
Yeah.
We don't see it.
Middle of the layout.
Yeah, we don't see that too often anymore these days. Manila, okay, yeah. That too.
Yeah. So again, yeah, it works for some people. I'm not a fan of that particular key. I don't like how it changes the stagger. I have used a board with it on for a little bit of time. Wasn't a fan. But the just jumping into the last set, a couple of comments on this. First of all, great use of space on some of the vertical keys. So the ISO enter and the numpad enters. There's some great use of space there. Really enjoying those. What do you think to the designs on those, Brian? Are
I-
you into them, or?
You know, I gotta be honest. I'm not really that into them. I do agree with you though. I think the use of space is pushed pretty far here. Maybe even overly pushed.
Right, okay.
It seems like the ISO enter is they really try to use as much space on it as possible. It almost looks a little too much to me, but you know, I got to pick my battles. But I think overall it's a pretty successful kit, even though it's not for me.
Yeah. One thing I do really like about this kit, and it's a shame it's not reflected in the base kit as well, though, is the fact that the novelties kit has R0 and R5 keycaps in there. So one of the things I was really hoping for this would be that the F row in the base kit would be row 0, which is even taller than row 1. For those that you haven't seen Cherry row 0, do go have a look at some pictures because it's insanely tall, but it's really unusual to see it these days. And I, as well as a lot of other people, believe that row 5 is a nicer bottom row as well these days. Personally, I think that row 5 keycaps on the bottom row is a little bit more comfortable, but you tend not to see it. We've only had a handful of sets with it in the past few months. So I would have liked to see those in the base kit if you're going to give us novelties with those rows.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
also
really makes sense to not have them.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that in the previous run of the Boneyard during the Carbon Round 2, it was specifically row 5, whereas this, if you look at the base kit, is specifically row 4. So if you were a fan of the row 5, and maybe that's why you liked the Carbon Boneyard before, you're not going to get that here. You're just going to get the row 4 in the base kit. But that'll make some people happy anyways. A lot of us still like it regardless.
Yeah, I really do think it should move to a row 5 bottom row, even if it's only for the 7U options, maybe. Maybe that would be a smart compromise, I don't know. But I would like to see that because it is one of the best parts about this original set, so yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, I think it's a fantastic looking set. We obviously already know what it's going to look like. There's already pictures here because it's run before, effectively, so it looks good, and I think a lot of people are going to be pretty happy about this, myself included.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right, moving on to our next set. This is the group buy for GMK Botanical, depending on where you are. How do you say it, Jay? I want to know how you say it.
Botanical.
Botanical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Botanical. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. So here is Botanical. And this starts at $120 US over on Dixie Mech. Here's the base kit for you here. You get a pretty decent range of compatibility, all things considered, for that price, actually. So you get your numpad, you get
really solid kit.
Yeah, you get the numpad support, you get lots of accents, you get basic ISO, and I can't really think of a better base kit without actually putting in like way more stuff. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's accent, enter keys, and everything else. If you're one of those people that likes a big base kit to give yourself lots of options and lots of choice, this is as good as it gets. Literally the only key that they could add to this to give people another option is an additional tab key, and then people could use the 2 sets of modifiers or with two different sets of alphas. So you might put, I don't know, minimal alphas or whatever else you wanted to with this, or in fact Honeywell alphas would go great with this. That muted grey with that green would look really nice. So that's the only thing I would suggest on this base kit. I think I prefer a big base kit personally. I think adding one more tab key would be really smart to this particular kit.
Nice. Moving on, we have the Bamboo kit, which is the spacebar kit there. Nothing out of the ordinary, pretty standard stuff. And then the Succulents kit, which is effectively the Novelties kit. And I think these are pretty well done as well. They don't seem too busy. They seem sized right. They all seem very possible, which is nice. Sometimes we see novelties for GMK sets that just really can't be double shot. Here, it looks very safe, very functional. I like it.
Yeah. The only slight change I would make to this is I really wish that one with the plant pot was row 1. It looks like it's row 2. It'd be really nice if that succulent in the plant pot was row 1 rather than having the 3 leaves. I'd have just made those 2 underneath row 1. If they're not, they may well be. It could just be the way the render looks. But I would definitely make those 2 row 1 keys as well. Yeah, really big fan of this set. Huge fan of this set.
Yeah. Definitely like this as well. This is one that I definitely planning on joining. I haven't done it yet, but definitely planning on joining.
It's a must buy for me. I think there is no reason not to buy it. I think
it's definitely been one of the most hyped sets for me for a while. And man, I know we've seen so many sets rendered on an Iron 165 nowadays, but I just never get tired of looking at it.
It's such a pretty board, right?
So good. Such a good board with
I
such a good set on it.
can't wait for mine to ship. Excited for that.
Yeah. All right, so there you go, guys. GMK Botanical up now. $120 base kit over on Dixie Mech if you're in the US. Let me scroll down here to get your other proxies there so you can see that.
Yeah, $133 in the EU and 202 Australian dollars if you're down under.
Ha! Nice. That's what I was going to say, too. Very nice. Yep, so good stuff. What I thought was kind of cool, too, is at the end of the post, he actually puts all of the renders and like art at the bottom for people to use. I never really see that before, but that's kind of a nice touch. Of course, there's there's cable collaborations and ramen novelties as well. It's almost not even worth talking about a lot of those these days, just because every single GMK set these days has the cable collaborations. You know, I think there's one that we're about to cover that has like 10 artisan collaborations, like 3 desk mats and stuff like that. It's like every set's just gonna have all this stuff now. That's just the norm these days. So it would take too much time to cover every last piece of every last collaboration that every last GMK set has. So we're just not going to do that anymore, I feel.
Do you know what I am going to do, though? I'm going to join this right now because I don't want to forget. So I'm just going to do it while we do the stream. Because that way I don't forget.
Classic top Clack quality.
Yeah, it's top Clack quality, right?
That's
it's
right.
just,
That's right.
Why is it not there?
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about our next topic, which is the group buy for GMK Taro Round 2. And this started on the 2nd, and it runs until the 27th of this month, so you get almost to the end of the month to join. So, again, Taro, if you guys missed it last time, this is your chance again. It's using the same colors as it did last time. So it did enjoy quite a bit of success. A lot of people were really into this one. And I completely agree. I think it's a very nice-looking set. The base kit is pretty darn good, I would say. It's only $110 at Novel Keys. This is based on a 1000 MOQ, obviously, but look at this. You get numpad, you get basic ISO, you get UK ISO, actually. You get full, like, 65-75% Sangon, HHKB, a couple accents. What more could you want? This is crazy for a $110 base kit. This is very, very good.
The key to this one, though, is it is priced at the 1000 MOQ mark. That's why the prices are so low. I assume that they're ready to buy it out if it doesn't meet that in group buy, but I'm pretty certain that this set will make 1000. I mean, the original set is really sought after. You know, people have been looking out for it for a while. I paid extortionate amounts for additional kits at one point. I think this will do pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
It sold pretty well last time, then after it shipped, a lot of people wanted it and were paying lots of money on the aftermarket for them. I can see this selling quite well. One thing that they did with this set that I really actually appreciate quite a lot is there's alternative alphas and alternative mods, but the colors are reversed. So that way, if you buy the base kit and the Boba alphas and the Milk Tea mods, you can effectively have 3 completely different looks for what kind of colors you're going for. And I respect that quite a bit. So, you know, you can swap out the mods and get a monochrome kind of mostly cyan-ish kind of look, or you can get the deeper color of the Boba alphas there. And I think that's quite nice.
Okay.
Let's talk about the novelties, though. How do you feel about these?
I'll be honest, I think I preferred the original novelties in the round 1 set. Yeah, which are the ones that, for those that you don't know, these are the ones that are on the right-hand side of the image here. So the 4 at the top and the 4 at the bottom. Those are included in the original set. Those I really like. They work really well. I used to have them on my TMO coming down vertically on the left-hand column. I think I had them on Germany at some point as well. Really nice. I'm not as much of a fan as the 4 bubble ones in the middle. And I don't like the kind of the tilted drinking cup either. I'm not quite a fan of that, but I do like the original ones. They feel more closer to the whole bubble tea kind of theme. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening with the fish on the left either. Don't know.
Oh, okay. So the fish is what I'm gonna assume is taiyaki, which is a popular Japanese sweet snack that I guess sometimes people will eat alongside boba. It's like
okay.
It's like a kind of pastry with usually filled with like red bean paste or something. Classic Japanese street food, I guess you could say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was not aware of that, but thank you for enlightening me.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Don't quote me on that. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be taiyaki. Someone in the chat will correct me. I'm sure. Say I'm wrong and that I'm stupid and that it's it's some other kind of fish. Regardless, more kits here to go along. There's quite a few kits in this entire set, actually. There's the extra toppings kit, which is effectively a dedicated accent kit. And then there is the extra straws kit, which is the spacebar kit. Then you have the small portion kit. I love the ways they're named. People get so clever with their names nowadays, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So you have the 40% kit, which is the small portion. Then you have the extra sugar kit, which is effectively your Ergodox kit. You could also maybe call it an assembly kit. That's what it's often called when it's run on drop at the very least. Kind of a dedicated Ergodox thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So very nice there. But that price, man, $110 for that base kit is really, really attractive. I can see this selling quite a few.
Yeah, I can absolutely see it selling quite a few. And I think that's part of the reason why there's so many different artisan collabs on this one as well. So for those that you haven't seen, there is a ton of different artisan choices for this from people. So there's Ritual Masters, as Bad Caps, Hello Caps, Death Caps, Night Caps, which picks have yet to come for those. Pretty much all of the big name brands out there from the artisan world are turning up, as well as Type Beast as well. So there's a Gaff Cap as well that's going to go out. So really, really interesting that loads of people have been wanting to do this as well.
Yeah, artisan collabs, man. Those are becoming pretty darn large on key set colorways these days.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really pretty good. I was really hoping to see a render of the assembly kit on a board because I was interested to see how that would look, but I can't seem to find one. There's just the assembly kit, or the extra sugar kit as they call it here. But I would have kind of liked to have seen that on a board and see what it actually looked like with all those bright colors on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anyways, that's going to be open until the 27th, so make sure to get on that if that's your thing. Moving on, we have the group buy for GMK Ashes. Also started on the 2nd. This one runs all month as well. So again, this one has lots of different collaborations. Look at this. There's 7 artisan collaborations, cable collaborations. Like, it's crazy what key sets are these days. Like, it used to just be, here's your GMK base kit, and then now it's like, here's your GMK lifestyle.
Here's everything. Here's your GMK desk theme.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting to me. I don't know. It's interesting to see how this has evolved. Anyways, back to the Ashes. How do you feel about this set as a colorway?
I've always been a fan of this. I think when we first saw it from Tyson a while back, I said that I really enjoyed it and liked it. I think it looks great. I'm a big fan of having the lighter mods and the darker alphas. I think that works quite well. I don't think we see enough of it, to be honest. I think we tend to stay too safe. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I'll definitely be picking up a base kit. Probably not going to pick up any of the other kits. I think just the base kit's enough for me on this particular one. But I do really like it. And in terms of the base kit, it covers pretty much everything you could want. Again, ISO support, numpad support, 65%, pretty much everything you could possibly want is in there. Again, the only tweak I would make to that base kit is add another tab key, because it just makes it so much more useful for people to reuse a mod set. If you've got the standard base kit on a 60% board, and then you've got another set of alphas that you want to use, one extra key just gives you that full compatibility with a set of alphas. Now, that being said, that extra tab key does make an appearance in the second kit, which is the lighter alpha kit. So there is the tab key in there as well. So if you want that monochrome look and you want to go for that light Ashes feel, you can get the second tab there. But I just think it's much more useful in the base kit because then people can use alpha sets from other key sets to mix and match, which I want to see more of in the community as well. Moving on to novelties and accent kits, how do you feel about this one, Brian?
It's pretty good. I don't entirely understand the sword and the fire thing. Is that like a Dark Souls reference here, or? I
think it might be. Yeah, I've never played any of the Dark Souls games, so I'm not quite sure. But I have heard people referencing that. So. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm right then. I think they're fine. I mean, it's a volcano novelty, and then it's a sword and a flame. I'm not really in love with them, but I certainly don't dislike them either. I like that there's accents in the kit as well. It's a really cut down novelties kit, which is kind of refreshing to me. I feel like so many sets these days are trying to shove as many novelties into a kit as possible. It's kind of nice just to have a set that only has a couple. So I definitely respect that at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think this set looks great. A couple of renders there. It looks great on Honey's HBCP as well. Really, really works with the polycarbonate as well as the blue boards that we see from Bauer and Upas. So, from Dixie and Upas, the Bauer and Satisfaction, retrospectively, looks really, really good. Really, really big fan of this. I think it looks great. What do you think to the desk mats? I can't make up my mind on that adventurer one.
They're fine. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with them. I think the layout for the desk mats works really well. I mean, your keyboard's not really going to cover a whole lot of this, and then your mouse is generally speaking going to be over here by this fire. So I think it's fine. In the other one, I mean, it's hard to hate. The other one's kind of just a
it's just a great desk mat.
It's just a great desk mat. So I don't know. I appreciate both of them. Not really in love with either, which I feel like is kind of the theme of this set for me. I like it, but I'm not entirely sure I like it enough to buy it. But
yeah,
you can't really hate it either, because I mean it's just kind of like a grayscale set. So
yeah, I have to be honest. I'm much more a fan of the dark alphas, though. I'm not really a fan of how the light alphas work with this. Just I'm not quite sure on that one. But I really do like the dark alphas. So I'll be joining for that at the very least.
Yeah, looks pretty darn good. So $130, I believe, is the base kit over at Project Keyboard, which is the American proxy. So not a terribly cheap key set, but the base kit does come with quite a bit. So, can't really argue too much. I mean, the base kit is probably not terribly unsimilar to Taro, which we just checked out, with lots and lots of keys in it. But Taro obviously priced at an MOQ of 1,000, whereas this is probably priced at an MOQ of 250. Would be my guess there, which is why we don't also see a $110 price point on this set. But regardless, looks pretty good. It had a pretty decent first day too. Sold 92 base kits on the first day. That's not too bad, honestly. That's
pretty good going, yeah.
That's pretty good, yeah. Well on the way to hit that 250 MOQ. That's probably not even including proxies as well. Yeah,
absolutely.
So cool, very very nice. But speaking of gray sets, we do have more. It's the group buy for SA sale, rather. I swear I can talk. This is based off the Stanford AI Labs keyboard, and this is another one where I feel like it's kind of hard to hate, because it's such a basically colored set. It's classic, and there's really not much more to it than that, Jay.
Completely agree. That bright green is just really nice to see, and the old keyboards that this is based on, the old Stanford AI Lab keyboards, I think it looks great on. I think it's nice to see a re-representation of that. And I've always been a fan of that kind of dual legend, where it's got something a little bit more symbolic to it. If you get the pun, most people won't, but I'm referencing the old Symbolics keyboards as well, that very much had this kind of style layout in terms of the keycaps too. So the old Space Cadet kind of things, and the Sail keyboards, all of that kind of stuff looks really great. I think this looks fantastic, and I'm not usually a purchaser of SA sets anymore, but I think this is almost a must-buy for me, because it just looks so damn good.
Yeah, again on the Iron 165 too. Man, that's clean.
Such a pretty board. Such a pretty board.
I agree. So yeah, a kit of this is going to run you about $155, depending on what layouts you want to cover. So that price would be the Alpha kits plus the Mods kit, which won't get you a numpad, but it'll give you coverage for a lot of other things. So again, about cap for cap, definitely more expensive than something like GMK, but a lot of people still into that SA, even though it's been kind of slowly dying, I feel like, in our community.
Yeah, I think the issue with that was a couple of years ago, when the SAQ was over 18 months long at one point. I think that's what caused the downfall of SA and the rise of GMK. And then as the hobby's grown, people have just jumped on the GMK bandwagon. And I think that's what's happened. But yeah, it's really good to see a set come back out like this, especially something as classic and as beautiful as this type of set. So yeah, happy to see it.
Yep, completely agree. So, if that's your thing, and you like the vintage stuff, make sure to come jump in on this. There's your vendors right there.
Yeah, just shout out the black desk mat on this as well. So the kind of whole PCB style layout as well looks really, really nice on that black desk mat. I'm not a fan of it on the green sail coloured mat, but on the black one, looks really good. Really, really good.
I'll agree with you on that one. I'll agree with you.
Good. I'm glad you'll agree with me on that one.
I also love the render on the Atlas, this like 5x12 board or whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's adorable. I love that board.
I get about 10 PMs a day asking if that's one in the J series.
Just because of the pen rail?
Because of the brass pen rail, yeah. So it's not 10 a day. That's an exaggeration, but it's probably easily 10 a week.
That's pretty funny. I think you must just be known as like the pen rail guy now. Like that's just your thing.
It seems to be. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, this is open now until I think pretty much the end of the month. So yeah, the 27th. So if you want to get on that, make sure to get on that now. There you go. Moving on. Back to the GMK side of things, we have the group buy for GMK Honey, which is opened until April 1st, opened on March 1st. This is another one I think some people have been waiting for. Where are the renders? Where'd they go? They disappeared on me. Oh my gosh. Did this really change as I... Oh, here we go. Oh, why aren't they here? What is going on? This page had renders last time I looked at it, I swear.
The renders are there on my page. Perhaps refresh it. So they're definitely there. I'm looking at them right now.
I don't know. The page just sort of died on me, I guess. But now they're back. They're just... that was weird.
I think this is user error. First you ruined my camera for the day, and now you can't even load some renders on Keycap. I think this is starting to tell a tale.
Oh my god. I wonder if my internet's dying. These are taking forever to load. Oh my gosh. Worst stream ever. You guys are watching this in real time, too.
Scuffed. I just refresh the page and see if it loads faster, because that looks horrendous.
Oh my god, this is pretty awful.
I've just refreshed my page here and it loaded immediately, so...
I've never had this issue with Geekhack before. Maybe my internet's just dying.
Time to download more bandwidth. Yeah, let's 3D print him some more bandwidth, please, guys.
Oh man. This is rough. I don't even know what to... Why was that thread the only one like that? Why is it just this one? Because the other Geekhack pages are loading just fine for me.
Give it a refresh and see how it goes.
Yeah, you guys are all seeing this. You guys are all seeing this, right? I'm not being stupid here. Hold on, wait, let me try to open it in a different window here.
Man, scuffed stream is scuffed.
Why is it doing this for me? I showed you guys too. All the other Geekhack topics working totally fine. Look at this. Here's Botanical. Oh look, it loads. Here's Taro. Oh look, it loads. Here's Ashes. Hey look, it loads. But for some reason, Honey, not loading for me. What a joke of a stream.
It doesn't even show that you're viewing the thread either as well, dude. So, yeah, it's interesting. I just refreshed it. It's fine.
I don't understand.
Stop the Hentai Unicorn Volume 7 download. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey man, at least if that were the issue, everything would be slow. Why is it only the GMK Honey page for me and every other web page is fine?
We are literally sabotaging Upas's group by here.
Okay, well, it's not even loading at all for me now. What the heck is going on?
Should we leave that loading in the background, go ahead and do the next one, and then come back to this one?
I suppose so.
Let's try that. Let's jump on to the next one, and then we'll come back to GMK Honey so we can do it justice.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hopefully it'll load during that time frame. Jesus.
Yeah.
What a weird issue. All right, anyway.
And if that fails, you can just go to Canon Keys and see it there. That's the other option.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't even think about that. All right, let's move on to our next topic. This is the group buy for GMK Kaiju. Kaiju translates to strange beast in Japanese, and this is kind of loosely based on what I'm assuming is Godzilla, though obviously they can't say that for copyright reasons. But the wording definitely tells the tale, and this is a set that a lot of people have been waiting for quite a while.
Oh man, I'm glad to see that Neflock's back doing a set, because I really, really like this. Really, really like it. And it's not something that I would normally like, because how often do I tell people I don't like Weeb Legends, and, you know, the Hiragana and...
Are they really Weeb Legends, though? Or
no, that's why I did it in the brackets. I disagree with that, but I don't usually like Hiragana or Katakana sub-legends. But I really, really like this set. I think it just looks great. The orange really pops on that kind of grey colour. And everyone knows I'm a fan of green. Green is my kind of thing. And yeah, I just think this looks great. It just looks really, really good. The biggest downside to this set is that it's on mass drop and not on a vendor in the EU, because that means that I'm going to have to wait for shipping for ages and pay a ton of extra fees and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a sad downside to me. But yeah, I do really like this set.
Yeah, I think the set does look pretty good. The Raging Asian in chat subs with tier 1. Thank you so much, man. It says GMK Gatorade. Okay, I could see that colorway. Okay, Gatorade. Okay.
I don't think we have Gatorade over here, but
we probably shouldn't have it over here either. But the UK tends to be more healthy than the US. Let's be real here.
Well, sometimes I would doubt that, but okay, let's go with it.
Yeah, regardless, yeah. Kaiju opening price $120 here. I think. How many days has this been open? They had a. Oh, it actually launched yesterday. Okay, I think for the first. Here it is. Yeah. So the first 48 hours, you can actually get $10 off. If you
$20 off.
Really? It says 10 for me.
It was $140 and now it's $120.
Okay, you're looking at something else. So check us out. As a special offer for early purchasers, take $10 off when you join in the first 48 hours. Minimum purchase of $50. Click here to apply the coupon. So I'm assuming that's $10 off the $120 price, because the $140 price, if you guys aren't familiar with drop, is just kind of a made-up kind of MSRP, kind of like what Amazon does when they want to show something as a low price. They just say, hey, this retails at $1,000, and now we're going to sell it for $50. That's a huge savings. Drop has been known to do that as well, so that's why that is there. So I assume this is going to be $110 after the coupon if you join within that first 48 hours, which it is still currently within that range. So if you do want to jump in on this, make sure you do it now and get that extra $10 off, because why not save extra $10?
Yeah, so it becomes $127 shipped for me instead of $137 shipped. So you are spot on. Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very nice. Yeah, they did a similar thing with the previous run of GMK Godspeed, so maybe that's just kind of a new thing they're going to be working on.
Right, okay. I'll be honest, I haven't bought anything off of Massdrop in a long time in terms of key sets, just because of the difficulties getting stuff up. I've had so many bad experiences with it.
Yeah.
For those of you who remember, I bought GMK Samurai and they shipped it to me, and they didn't put the right paperwork in for imports into the UK, and it got shipped back to Massdrop. And Massdrop then told me that they were completely out of stock. They didn't have any Red Samurai keycaps and gave me a $10 gift card. And it was like, well, you have got my keycaps because you've got them back. You've taken delivery of this set back. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, mistakes happen, but like as a vendor, especially one as big as Drop, you have to be fixing those. You can't just like be like, oh, okay, we're sorry, like, and just move on. Like, you can't do that when you're shipping internationally like that, and there's so much monetary investment from the recipient of the package that you just can't do that. You can't mess around with someone's money like that.
Yeah. The worst part about it is that they didn't decide it hadn't got the right paperwork on it until after I'd paid the import fees, which I never got back either. So I paid the import fees and never got the set, which was the worst part of it.
Yeah, that's incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the set itself, though. How do you feel about the base kit? It feels pretty rich, all things considered.
Yeah, the basic kit looks pretty good. So again, as I said before, I'm a big fan of a fully featured base kit. It's got numpad in there. It's got some alternate accent keys in there for your enters and your arrows. It's got ISO support. It's got 65% support, TKL support. It's got alternate bottom row. There's nothing in there that you could want for, to be honest. I think it looks really, really good from that perspective. Yeah, really big fan of this set.
Yeah, especially if you get it on that $110 price point. A lot of value in that base kit. A lot of accents as well.
For a base kit that big, $110, it's pretty good going. Yeah, pretty good going.
Yeah, glad we're starting to see that price of these big base kits come down there, because previously this would have been $140, maybe even $150 base kit.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we're seeing. The more GMK kits run, the more people are vying for people's money, the lower the kits go, and the more they want to sell. And we're now at a price point where people, the price in GMK sets to not sell just spend MOQ and have a higher price per kit, but they're actually expecting to sell 500, 1,000 sets, which lowers the cost through economies of scale.
Yeah, and I think it's one thing that I think a lot of people haven't really thought as much about, because we've honestly never really had to worry about it until recently, but now we have GMK sets that are competing against each other. like people, a lot of times people can only buy, you know, 1 or 2 sets a month, and you know, when 10 sets come out a month, the price and all the other details about the set, they really start to matter. Like if someone can only spend $100 on a GMK set for a month as opposed to $130 or $150, well then they already know what set they're going to buy. They're going to buy the one that costs $100. So you really do need to start, the prices need to start coming down, because the competition is finally there between the key set designers and the vendors, which it hadn't really been before.
Yeah, and this month is a particularly strong month for good GMK sets as well. You've got Botanical, Ashes, Luna, Apollo, Kaiju, all, you know, fairly well hyped set. Honey as well, all fairly hyped sets that are running this month. Some we'll talk about this week, some we'll talk about next week, that people want in on as well. And you know, people can't buy all of those sets. It's impossible to buy all of those sets. If you bought all 6 of those sets that I just mentioned, that's, you know, it's over $1,000. It's just not achievable for most people in the community to spend that kind of money each month. So you're right, it is the sales are going to cannibalize each other, but we're still hitting these really high MOQs, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and like Talisman says in chat, Ashes, Lunar, Apollo, all now and all gray. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You have these competing sets that really aren't like hugely different from one another, that are all in like around the same price bracket, coming out at all around the same time. That's competition, and you need to be doing whatever you can, whether it's dropping prices or, you know, promoting, advertising, stuff like that, spreading the word, like to be able to sell the appropriate amount of sets. But like you mentioned, a lot of these have been easily gliding past MOQ, so it's really hard to say. It really just kind of goes to show that our community has a fair amount of disposable income, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, bam, there you go, $120 GMK Kaiju. Nice looking base kit, pretty decent colorway as well. And if you get in there, I don't know exactly how many hours are left on this coupon, but if you get in there now, you can get it for a $10 discount as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking that one up. Okay, should we try and jump back to GMK Honey and do it justice this time? Is that a good idea?
I'm going to open the link, and I'm going to see if it loaded. And it looks like
it
did not.
Let's just go straight to Canon Keys.
Okay, hold on. I can... It lets me open them, but it doesn't show them initially. I have to expand them.
That's weird as hell. Let's just use Canon Keys.
Canon Keys. Okay. Canon Keys. GMK Honey. There we go. Let me slot this in where it needs to be. Alright. Bam. We're fixing it in real time, sort of. And I like that.
It's a good enough fix.
That's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. So, bam. GMK Honey. The gold on white set that people were apparently asking for. But regardless, I am happy that it actually came out, because I think it looks pretty darn good. Why did that picture just open? What the heck is going on? Maybe my computer is just like really trying to fool me or something. I don't know. When I try to expand the base kit, look at this. This you can see it on stream, right? On my hovering over the base kit picture, I click on it, and this is the picture that opens.
Yeah.
That's
the way Shopify works. It gives you the first image in the thing. So you
okay.
Yeah, just the way Shopify works.
I swear I'm starting to go crazy here.
No, I've had that problem on my site as well.
This is like the worst episode of Top Clack in the entire history of Top Clack.
And do you know what? It's all user error, Brian. It's all on your side. You're in control. You're driving everything.
That's
so
true.
I'm just going to blame you.
That's true. It is indeed all my fault. Regardless, how do you feel about GMK Honey, Jay?
I really like this, and I never expected to. If someone described this set to me, I would go, "Yeah, that doesn't sound very nice." But the more I look at this set, the more I fall in love with it. The base kit, especially, I think that the dark accent keys really offset the lighter color on the mod keys. The alphas look great, and I didn't expect to like this, but I really, really do.
It does look oddly good, and I feel the same way. When I first saw the interest check, I was like, it can't be that good. But now let's hit group buy. I've changed my mind a little bit, and I do think it looks pretty darn nice. $135 base kit, which compared to some of the other sets that we've checked out today, is a little bit towards the higher end. So take that how you will. But regardless, I mean, the kits do a pretty good job as well. There's an alternative alphas kit if you want that kind of really, really gold look. I don't know. I feel like that color is really nice, but it's kind of extreme with the alternative alphas.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
those are
I think it
random.
works better with the white alphas rather than the mod-colored alphas. Even though I usually tend to like monochrome sets, it's just a little bit too much yellow, I would say. Definitely prefer this with the white alphas. Also, really, really digging the Rama Artisan Keycap. I'm not sure if you've seen that on this particular group buy, but I think that looks absolutely stunning as well. Really,
Rama
really
cap.
impressed with that.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have to. Every time I want to see a picture, I have to open the pictures and scroll over to the picture. What a weird Shopify feature. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a feature. Yeah, that's what they told me when I asked them about it.
Oh, have you asked about that actually?
Yeah, I
Oh.
emailed my rep and said,
Oh yeah,
why does it do this? Because I thought it was me being an idiot at first when I was setting it up. It was
Okay.
on the IDB listing, because everything else had. So if we're digressing again here. But if you go into Shopify's backend, what you can do is you can have pictures for every different listing. So if you've got 4 different kits, you can have a picture highlighted to that specific kit, and that kind of works. But then if you want to add more pictures and have them in like a rotation, like a gallery, it kind of stops that working sometimes, and there's no hard or fast rule as to why it does that or doesn't do that. It just seems really weird. Now I got really confused, really frustrated with it. I actually rang up Shopify and spent an hour on the phone to them, and they couldn't help me get it to work, so I just left it in the end.
That's so unfortunate. You'd think that like when you click on a picture, it would open that picture.
Yeah, right.
And it's kind of weird to fundamentally have it not do that.
Well, yeah. The other thing that it should do as well is which it does do on this particular site is when you flick through the kit, it flicks over to the particular picture that you're talking about, but only in that contextual menu. As soon as you click on the images to get the larger pictures up, the larger sized images, then it just takes you straight back to the beginning. But if you don't do that, if you don't have them linked to the particular drop down kit, it works as you'd expect it to. It's really, really weird.
Okay,
but hey, that's just Shopify for you.
Yeah, that's strange as heck. But regardless, back to the set. Does look pretty darn nice, all things considered, and I guess there is a link to the desk mats. Okay, this is usually why I like the Geek Hack thread as opposed to a vendor page, because the Geek Hack thread will have like a really long list laid out of everything with all the renders in them. And here we have to kind of flip back and forth between things. But desk mats look really, really nice on this one.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the Amber Fields one to the Honey and Lemon. Personally, I think that Amber Fields one looks great. Really big fan of that. Even if I don't buy the Keycap set, I'm probably going to pick up that desk mat.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I actually prefer the Honey and Lemon one, but I don't like where everything's placed, because that's where you put your keyboard. And I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks it's weird that everyone always puts the design of a desk mat where you put your keyboard, as opposed to like where you can actually see it with your keyboard there?
I guess the thing is that in use, most people put their keyboards in the top right, where the lemons are on this particular picture, right? But when people actually take photos of the desk, they do those lovely top-down pictures and all of that kind of stuff, they'll put their keyboard dead center. So in this particular one, it looked like the honey whip's actually splashing honey over their keyboard. And I don't know why. I would much prefer to see the designs on the right-hand side than the left.
Yeah, like you gotta realize there's gonna be. I mean, and I use my mouse right-handed, so my keyboard is never in the smack dab middle of a desk mat. It's always more to the left.
Yeah,
and
mine is right now just a little bit to the left. Yeah.
Mine will always cover like this area, then I'll use my mouse over here. So I don't know. I wonder if it's just something I'm not quite understanding. Maybe I'm just completely stupid and I'm using my desk mats wrong, but it feels strange to put designs of a desk mat always where it's going to be covered. I don't know. Strange to me. With that said, I think the other desk mat is actually more successful because it'll maybe cover up a little bit less.
Yeah, I think just having those the nice mountains going off into the background on the left hand side will look great. Yeah, I really, really like the Amber Fields one. Big fan of that.
Meldit says, maybe I'm the intended audience for this then. I have my keyboard centered and my mouse on the right to the left is perfect for designs. But you gotta realize, even in this picture, if you center your keyboard, it's still going to be covering up part of this design. Well, depending on the size of your keyboard. I guess if you have a really tiny 40, you might not cover up much of this. But like an 1800 style board, like you're still going to cover up a lot of this design, even with a centered keyboard.
I like a lot of space for my mouse. I don't know if that's just me, but I like a lot of space.
I do too.
Like, I'll use a 900 by 400 desk mat, and I will use a good third of that just for my mouse alone.
Same.
Like the whole right third that's all mouse space. If anything else is in there, it's going to get bumped by my hand at some point. So yeah.
Yeah. Tectonic Plate says we should move on, and I agree. Sorry for the rant. I don't know. Desk mats confuse me, I guess. Regardless, GMK Honey up on Canon Keys right now, and I don't remember the other proxies off the top of my head. Oh, there we go. Down there at the bottom.
The list on the page, yeah.
I love that. I love when the vendors list the other vendors that are proxies. That should always be a default thing. I'm glad that is happening here.
Absolutely. Fully agree.
All right, cool. Very nice stuff. And we already did Kaiju, so now we're moving on to Infinikey LedZep, or Led Zeppelin, depending on who you are. But this is a set that we have seen before. We've seen this in GMK format, but now it's coming at you at a much cheaper price point, but in PBT die sub instead, courtesy of Infinikey. So maybe if you're a fan of Led Zeppelin, or you like that colorway originally, then this could totally be for you. They have a pretty interesting kit breakdown here. So there's actually only two kits. There's the core, and then there's the mega add-on. And so the core is going to be a little bit more structured like a GMK base kit, for example, where you get most of what you need, but maybe not some of the more intricate stuff. But you already get a price point of $89, which is pretty cheap if you consider all the things the core kit actually offers. And then there's the mega add-on kit for $35, which does give you a lot of the more slightly obscure things, I guess, as well as some novelties. So we haven't really seen this kit breakdown yet from Infinikey. The last set that they ran, which was the Hive set, PBT Hive, had a different core structure as well. So they had a core kit, which was a lot like this, and then they had the core mega kit, which was the same thing, but with a lot more keys and at a slightly higher price point. So I think TKC in particular, maybe trying to structure things differently with each Infinikey run to see what works out best for them, because we've seen a different kit structure for every single set that they've run from Infinikey so far. So
yeah, absolutely. Just looking at that base kit as well, I think there's a ton of compatibility in there straight out of the box. You know, you've got pretty much everything you could need from an ANSI perspective. Tons of choice there. There's even basic ISO coverage as well, even accent space bars and everything else. For $90, that's a pretty good base kit. There's a ton of stuff in there, and you can outfit almost every board that you could possibly have with that. I can't see I can't see why anyone would need to buy the mega add-on kit. I can see why people would want to buy it because it has different keys and other bits and pieces in there, and I can absolutely see why people would want to buy it. But it's certainly not needed because that covers so much in that particular base kit. I can't think of a layout you couldn't cover with that.
Yeah. Also, I know we touched on it last week, but man, the renders on this Relic SSK.
Yeah.
This is like some of the coolest renders I've ever seen.
I am 100% buying that board when it comes out because it's absolutely divine.
Yeah, that looks
absolutely divine.
That looks incredible. This set looks so good on it too, I gotta admit. But yeah, in Infinikey, pretty reasonable price point, $89 there. So you know, it's not really my colorway. I didn't get it in the GMK version, and I probably will skip on this as well. Which is kind of a bummer because it seems to be doing pretty poorly, all things considered. Only 8 out of 100 MOQ base kits sold. So
yeah, which is surprising to be honest. I thought this would do a little bit better. GMK LedZep is one of the few GMK sets I don't own, but I'm really surprised that this isn't doing as well as I thought it would do.
I wonder if people are still just kind of waiting for more improvements from Infinikey, because obviously in the initial launch they did have some issues, but they do seem to be actually trying to fix them and move forward and actually, you know, get a lot of community feedback, which is always cool. And it seems like they have been doing a little bit better now, so I'm surprised that people are maybe still a little bit worried about it.
Yeah, it seems weird that after almost a week of being open, it's only sold 8 and 7. That seems really rather bizarre. I feel like those numbers must be wrong.
It might just be wrong. Yeah, hard to know, but regardless, it's pretty reasonably priced, honestly. And the base kit structure, pretty good. I don't really have any complaints about it, other than the fact that I just don't really care about the theme. I was never really like a Led Zeppelin fan, so I don't really care for the theme a whole lot, but hey, could be entirely for you. Bam. There you go. All right. Well, let's move on to the last topic of the news doc, actually. And this is some recolored Duroc stabilizers. So these are ghost stabilizers, white stabs, aka, well, I don't know. They're just recolored Duroc stabilizers. That's pretty much all you need to know. So if you like Duroc stabilizers, but you wanted them in ghost white, or whatever they're calling it here, brilliant white, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, brilliant white. This could totally be for you then. Let me try to find the pictures here. I don't know if they're actually in the IC form or not. I feel like I saw them earlier, but now I can't remember where they are.
I think they were on the Reddit page, if I remember rightly.
What the heck? I'm almost positive he had an image in this thread when I looked earlier. Am I blind? Okay, well, anyways, this is going to be the same color as the Ghost switches, presumably, that we checked out last week on the show, which was effectively just an all milky white housing with kind of a translucent white stem, or clear stem, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. And if you wanted those colors on your stabilizers, then here you go. Maybe it needs another half hour to load, said Lewd Helios. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's not loading for me if it is. I did see a picture of this earlier on, though. I'm sure I did. But effectively, they are just white stabilizers, guys. So if you've seen Duroc stabilizers or Everglide stabilizers, these ones that I showed off right up here at the beginning of the show in a dusty grey color, it's these but white. That's as simple as it is. So yeah. Very specifically set to match his ghost switches that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which has already gone way past MOQ, so those switches are definitely going to run now. So this is to see if the people want matching stabilizers, which I'm guessing in this hobby they will.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise it's just a Duroc stabilizer. Some people seem to like them quite a bit. Some people maybe not so much, but you know, what is it? It's a stabilizer. MOQ for this, only 10,000 though, so pretty low. Actually, I guess all things considered, that's maybe not that low. Because I mean, people don't buy 100 stabilizers the same way they buy 100 switches. So I wonder if that's actually kind of a high MOQ for stabilizers.
If I remember rightly, the stabilizer counts as it doesn't. So that's one housing and one insert. If I remember rightly, for the to count towards a 10,000, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that it's one insert and one housing, so you'd actually hit 2 for each stabilizer itself. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'd have to double check that and make sure, but I'm kind of like 80% certain that's how it works. So realistically, if you're using per wire, effectively you've got 2 housings and 2 inserts, so you don't really need to do 5,000 full stabilizers, I think. I'll double check that and confirm if that's different, but that was my understanding of it.
Yeah, that'll definitely be some good info to have, but, regardless, this is nothing entirely new. Recolored stabilizers, they're going to match the ghost switches that Vickery G here put out the interest check for last week, so he's been kind of a pioneer of putting out recolored Duroc switches and now stabilizers. So if you're a fan of that, then, he keeps keeping on more and more.
Keeps on keeping on, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's good to see, though. Lots of new stuff. Just a quick question from M to the M1337. It says, what's the point in coloured stabilizers when you can't see them? What's the point in coloured switches when you can't see them?
Or PCBs.
People like, or even plates, hell, whatever,
Yeah.
People like things to match. That's the whole reason why the laser switches sold so well, and the linears and all the other recolors that we see, because people like things to match whatever they're building. So, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Save the rest of the questions, please, for the Q&A segment, which we will do momentarily, actually. We're going to talk about our sponsors for just a moment, and then we are going to do a little giveaway, and then we'll do the Q&A. So,
yeah, before we jump into the sponsors, do we want to tell them what the code is to put into chat to get themselves involved in the giveaway?
Oh, you want to do that now? Okay.
Well, maybe. If we tell them, then they can start using it. I mean, there is a time sensitivity to it, so they'll have to maybe put it in a couple of times to keep themselves eligible. But if you want to join the giveaways, guys, for the Straight Classy hat that we linked right at the top of the show, give me a second. I'll grab the link again for you. You can win one of these hats completely free of charge from Straight Classy himself, just by putting DAT hat into chat. So it's DATHAT, all one word, all lowercase, DAT hat. If you guys put that into chat now, it will enter you into the giveaway for that, and we'll do the sponsor section, and then we'll pick a winner. Now, bear in mind that does have a timer on it, guys, so you might have to put that hat in a couple of times. I think it's set to a couple of minutes, something like that. But I'll tell you how many eligible users are before we pick a winner. But we should jump into the sponsor segment. So, do you want to jump in first, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting us off today, we have the wonderful Novel Keys, as usual, one of our absolute favorite vendors. They have a few things going on right now, just like we talked about earlier. GMK Taro Round 2 is live, so if you missed it the first time, or if you were just one of those people that didn't want to spend ridiculous amounts of money on it on the aftermarket, GMK Taro is back, and it is an incredibly low price, $110, with a very, very, very highly compatible base kit. So love seeing that. Make sure you hop in on that sometime this month, as well as the Star Wars Boba Fett set that is still available as well. If you're maybe a Star Wars fan and collector, this could be something for you. Just keep that and maybe just let it gain some value. I feel like that's probably what will happen there. They also have SA Sale, which we just talked about a few moments ago as well. Pretty nice looking set. Starts about $155 for a base kit, quote unquote, which means mods plus the alphas. So not too terrible there. Of course, they still have lots of desk mats depending on the group buys that you're into. So the Sale desk mat, Livia Plus, they got pretty much everything for you. It's Novel Keys, guys. You've seen this before. They have lots of switches, lots of keycaps, lots of desk mats, lots of everything, lubes, you name it, they probably got it. And if you're buying something in stock, make sure you use the promo code Clack. That's one word, all lowercase. That'll get you 5% off your total order.
Absolutely. And jumping over to our second sponsor of the day, it is the wonderful people over at Kono.store. And this week, I want to talk to you about Cat Oasis, to be precise. A wonderful looking key set designed by Jay Saints. That's available for group buy right now. Tons of different kits. You can get everything from pretty great prices, including some blank keys that are really well priced as well. So please, guys, do go check that out if you're into a bit of Cat and you like a bit of Oasis as well. If GMK is more your thing, then there are two key sets that are in group buy right now. GMK Hero, which is struggling a little bit, so if you are on this, do join it quickly. Do try and get it up to MOQ, because I think it does need a little bit of help. But failing that, there is also GMK Spirit as well. So GMK Spirit is more your kind of thing. The sequel to the SA Strong Spirit keycap set that ran a couple of years ago in SA Profile, then also take a look at that as well. They're both in group buy. That being said, if you have missed any of the group buys that have run in any of the sets on Kono recently, you can usually join it for a pre-order. I won't list all of the sets, but there's a ton of sets like GMK Copper and a few other bits and pieces on there as well. I think Ursa's there too. You can pick up all of those by pre-ordering them now as well. In terms of switches, KL Pro and KL Speed switches are now back in stock on Kono as well, so you can go ahead and get those switches if those are your kind of thing. But if you're looking for a keyboard, trying to get someone into the hobby, maybe perhaps, there is the Hex Gears series, which are also in stock and ready to ship. These are going out pretty much immediately from when you place your order. So there's the Hex Keys Gemini, the X1, and the Venture, all in stock. 3 different types of keyboards. The X1's probably the pick of the bunch here, because we've got those super low profile switches on there as well, and it's wireless. So if someone is looking to get into the hobby, that might be the perfect board to for you to drag them into the hobby, kicking and screaming, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I've used one of these before, and I honestly liked it quite a bit. So definitely not a bad purchase for $120 if you're looking for a wireless keyboard with some low profile switches. Next up, we have KBDfans, who has a few things going on right now. So one of the things they've been doing recently, which we still need to freaking check out, is these new Enjoy PBT ABS sets. So Enjoy PBT finally entering the arena of double shot ABS keycaps, and at a very, very, very low price, all things considered, of $69. So I still need to pick one of these up. Just remind me to grab one of these after the show, Jay. I really do need to buy one of these so we can actually finally test one. I keep forgetting about it. So we need to check out one of these. But yeah, very inexpensive Enjoy PBT double shot ABS goodness. But of course, just like always, they have lots and lots of products going on. Whether you just want some switches or some stabilizers, some PCBs, some cases, some keycaps. They're pretty much a one-stop shop for pretty much anything that you can possibly think of. as you can see here. And of course, they also have a B stock market too, which I know doesn't always have cool stuff on it, and sometimes things don't change, but every now and then you find something really, really epic on here for good price. I found a couple things for some friends on here that have been outrageous value, so you gotta keep an eye on that every now and then. Don't sleep on the B stock section.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, jumping over to our final sponsor of the day, it is the Key Company. A few things to quote here. We've already talked at length about Infinikey LedZep. It's $89. If you like that key set, go buy it, guys, because it's cheap. It's easy to get hold of. It's going to be a good set. It's going to do well. As well as that, they've also got in stock right now so a very, very limited amount of Holy Panda apparel. So if you like the hoodies, t-shirts, and all of that kind of stuff that's been on the store historically, they have some of that in stock right now, but it's all really limited. There's not many of each item. So if you want them, go grab them quick before they sell out. There's a few different choices in terms of hoodies in that. I'm going to grab one. The wife's already picked one out that she wants in a nice peachy colour. So I'm going to try and grab one of those straight after the stream as well. Just a reminder as well that GMK Luna does launch tomorrow. That will be on the Key Company tomorrow. We'll cover it on next week's stream because it's not a live group buy yet, but we'll be talking about that lovely key set. Another one of the grey key sets to match this month. So that'll be on our new stock for next week. And then finally, they also have the Creative Cherry Profile ABS blanks for just $24. So you can get a whole 104 key kit for just $24. And if you're really interested in one of those, they are actually giving a set away at the moment as well. So you can get hold of that by entering the link that I've just put there. It is a Gleam giveaway. Feel free to go and have a look at that. Enter if you want to, but they will be giving away one of those blank keycap sets, and they come in a ton of colors. There's absolutely a ton of colors. I think the Prussian blue would be my pick out of the bunch, but you guys can take your pick as to what you like.
I was trying to make it through every color option to display while you were talking about it, and I still failed. There's so many colors.
There's so many of them, right? And there's some great colors in there as well. The aquamarine and I can't remember what it's called, the aquamarine one, and the Prussian blue are both really nice.
That's good. I'm pretty partial to the Umbra. That one's pretty good as well.
Nice, yeah.
There's a lot of colors there. Very, very inexpensive too. Love seeing that. All right. Shall we go back to the giveaway now?
Yeah, so that's the code that you guys need to be putting into chat. There's currently only 37 of you that are eligible, so you might want to keep typing it in and pressing it in there, guys. And,
yeah, we'll wait a few more minutes here. We'll wait until 7:35 Pacific, which is a little over 2 minutes. So
yeah, a couple more minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you type in Dat Hat in chat right now to be eligible to win. Well, Dat Hat.
Yeah, I want to see at least half the people that are viewing. So how many people are viewing at the minute? 113 viewers. I want to see at least 55 viewers enter. Yeah. It's getting there. 46 eligible viewers.
We have over 100 viewers now. I think we should be able to get 70 or 80 people in this giveaway at the very least.
Yeah. So just to call out a few. Bearded Nut Inc. He's in.
Yes.
Burrick, he's in.
Yes. Bearded Nut Inc.
Caffeine Connoisseur. He's in. I'm not going to read everyone out. So if you don't hear your name, then please don't think that. Frisco Melt's in. GH Beats is in. Haddy Potter's in. Haddy, good to see you, man. I remember meeting you at the Seattle meetup. Jump Mineral Water is in as well. Laughmaster, LBI Base is here as well. Melodette, Mike Clicks. My name is the Royal. Straight Classy's entered for his own hat.
All right. Well, that's a little weird.
If you win, you ain't getting it. We're gonna re-roll it if you win.
Absolutely. Also, quick shout out to Mr. Petrov, who did donate 1,000 bits earlier, and said that
thank you, Petrov.
Said that you and I are wrong. The monochrome GMK Honey alphas are amazing. More power to you, man. It's very intense. I'll give you that. But regardless, we do appreciate the 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, sir. And then Geo, not G10, has resubscribed for 30 months now on the tier 3, so he's also a very OG sub.
30 months. Wow.
Yeah. And Antonio Margaretti with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, guys.
Nice. Should we roll this on 35 minutes past the hour exactly? Because that's in 15 seconds from now. Should we do it right on the 35 mark?
Well, I mean, we should play it by sight. Let's see if people are still cramming to enter, or if the chat is dead, because, you know, one of those things will probably happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 53 people in at the minute, which is not as high as I thought it'd be. I figured that we could get, maybe 60, 70 people in there.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That just increases the odds for everyone that's entered. So.
Oh, exactly. Maybe I should call out some of the people that haven't entered. Toasted Sandwich, Raging Asian, Ray isn't even entered.
You know, not everyone is a hat guy or gal. Let's be real here.
That's fair.
I'm not.
Fair. Even
I'm not
Mr.
really.
Petrov hasn't entered.
I'm not a hat wearer. I've never really worn hats. I don't really care for hats. It's a very like shirts are universal. Everyone wears shirts, but like hats are kind of like a coin flip. I feel like, and it's probably fair that if you don't wear hats and you don't want to wear a hat, that you probably shouldn't enter for this.
Maybe. That's fair. Okay, we've gone up by one eligible user.
Yes. All right. Go ahead and roll it, Jay. Let's see what happens.
Should we roll it? Let's do a countdown. We're going to roll it in 3, 2, 1. Click. Laughmaster, there we go. Laughmaster is the winner. He's been following since December the 21st, 2017.
Wow.
So thank you very much, dude.
Yeah. That's a while. Okay. Yeah. Maybe not super active in the chat, but it's definitely been around for a while. Very nice.
Yeah. So, Laughmaster, if you're watching, you need to reach out to Brian or I. We'll put you in touch with Straight Classy, or Straight Classy will get in touch with you. Whatever. We'll work it out after the show at some point today, and we'll get you that hat. So
basically, if you're not in our official Discord, which is linked below, join that and then PM me, and then I will set you up with that, and we'll get that going for you. I guess you could PM Jay as well, but you should probably just PM me instead.
Yeah, just PM Brian, because I'll be going to bed.
He's going
Unless
to bed,
you're in the EU. I tell you what, actually, if you're in the EU, to save Classy on some shipping, because it'll cost him a fortune for the hat. Classy, when you send my parcel, if the guy's in the EU, send it to me and I'll forward it on for you, because that'll be much cheaper to do that way. So yeah.
But if you're not in the EU, just PM me, and we'll get you sorted out either way. Shout out to Straight Classy, of course, once again, for the hat giveaway. Very, very kind of him. Make sure everyone says thank you to Big Daddy Straight Classy.
Big Daddy Straight Classy, I like that.
You like that? I just came up with that. I was pretty happy about it. I got to be honest.
Yeah, you literally just came up with it right now.
Yeah, it just rolled off my tongue.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean, I'm still pretty sick, so like my head's kind of jostled right now. I'm not really thinking straight, but I'm happy with that. Nice. I like it. Talisman, it gifts a tier 1 sub to Laughmaster as well. So thank you so much for that gifted sub, man. Welcome to the Big Daddy Street Classy hat crew. I love that. That's great. All right, guys. So let's roll it on over to the Q&A to round out the show, just like we always do. So if you guys have questions, hopefully we have the answers for you. Make sure to use the @TopClack tag in the chat so we can see your questions a lot easier. Help us out way more than you think.
Yeah.
And we'll answer some questions before we head out for the night. All right. Derpstradamus says Cat Atlantis, or he says Catlantis, but I'm assuming he means Cat Atlantis.
Yeah, Catlantis would have been a great name for it, though, wouldn't it?
Ooh, wow, yeah. Why? Missed opportunity, perhaps. I don't know. But he was talking in chat earlier, I saw, about how we haven't covered it on the news yet. And I got to be honest, I thought we did. Did we not?
I thought we had covered it.
Did we not cover Atlantis? When did it go live?
I thought we had. I don't know, but I thought we'd covered it. Maybe we didn't. We sometimes do miss things, guys. We are fallible when it comes to that kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, it did go live on the 1st, so we did forget it this episode.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. We can cover it next episode though. It's open all month, so I mean, as long as we cover it this month, it'll be relevant.
So many sets though. It's so easy to forget these days when we miss things. Yeah.
Yeah. Never expect Top Clack to cover every single topic ever. This was a mistake. Normally we do cover this kind of stuff, and like I mentioned, I'll put it on the doc for next week so we don't forget it. But yeah. So we should have covered it this episode. You're right, because it did launch on the 1st, which was only 4 days ago. But I must have forgot it. I must have glossed over it when I did the news doc. So that's my bad, guys, and we'll make sure to cover that next week on the show.
Just another failure from Brian this week, guys. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, apparently when I get sick, I just fail at absolutely 100% of everything I do in life. So it's very, very unfortunate. But yeah, we'll check that out next week. It wasn't any kind of like issue or anything. It was just me forgetting. Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I apologize if you're involved in that project and we missed it.
We will definitely cover it next week, and we'll make sure we do. Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember talking about it though. We must have covered it in interest check, and that must be what we both remember.
I know we
definitely
covered an
remember
interest
talking about
check,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But because it launched on the 1st, the only show where we would have talked about the group buy would have been this episode, which we didn't.
Yeah.
So we did technically forget it, and you know, sometimes that's just the way it is. So many things come out. It's sometimes hard to remember every last thing, and sometimes they just slip. So apologies on that one, guys. Mr. Petrov asking, sorry if I missed this, but is that a knitted green cardigan on Jay's chair?
It is, yeah, it is. This is a knitted green cardigan, yeah. It's really comfortable, and I like to wear it when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, which I was earlier on this week, and I was working from home, so that's why it's on the back of the chair, because I sit here when I'm working from home. So that's
nice. Krasios with a question, can I go to bed now?
No, you can go to bed when I go to bed.
Yes, you have to wait until the show's over. Yeah. I'm not gonna be nice about it. Madrid is asking, when will you two be doing a battle rap? Quakeum's newly revealed mad skills must be tested. Do we need a rap battle?
I'll forfeit, you win. There we go. Rap battle over.
Well, that's boring. I'm not a particularly amazing freestylist, but I have written quite a few raps in my day.
Wow, I've written 0 raps in my life, and I've never even tried to perform one. So the forfeit, you win. There we go.
Man, taking all the fun out of it. Taking all the fun out of it. Fun fact, though, I do. So this is actually pretty old school. Maybe some people in chat will remember this. I actually agreed to do a rap battle with Tiny. I don't know, 3 years ago now, maybe even longer.
Wow.
I haven't forgot. I haven't forgot. And guess who I just reached out to for an interview?
Wow, interesting. Yeah, so that needs to be on that episode of Behind the Keyboard. It needs to happen. You need to make it happen.
And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Let's move on to our next question here. Sorry, I got a little bit lost in chat. Lupilios asking, Brian, come to Mechanicon. And Jay, are you going? Where is Mechanicon?
Germany. So not 100% confirmed as yet, but I have been invited to go by the organisers. So Kenny Keys reached out and asked me on behalf of one of the organisers the other day. I may go, may not. It's not 100% confirmed. The main reason is because it's literally 4 weeks after the UK meetup, which is on the 28th of March. I don't really want to do 2 weekends away that close together, but I may well do. I think actually Mr. Tahir Types himself is going as well, from what I hear. So it should be interesting. But yeah, not confirmed. We'll see.
Yeah, I probably won't be going. If I'm being honest, international travel is quite expensive, and I can't always afford it. So that is kind of just the way it is for me, unfortunately. Let's see. Upas says Catlantis hit 1K, over 1K kits sold in 5 days. That's
nice.
Pretty good.
That's awesome.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Again, it was just a mistake that we didn't actually cover it today as well. So apologies on that.
Yeah, and I can't blame Brian for it. I didn't notice it either when we went through the news doc before the show. So it's poor form on both our behalves, but we'll make sure it's on next week's doc.
Heat Loss says, "What you drinking, Jay?"
Iron brew. I need sugar at this time in the morning to keep me awake. Sugar and caffeine. So first of all, I had coffee earlier on, and then now I'm drinking Iron brew.
Visionaire says Corona for Brian. I don't think I have the coronavirus, but if I were to have it, I would be in the state that were to have it, because Washington is kind of getting wrecked by it at the moment. I think I don't know if there's any confirmed deaths outside of Washington in the U.S. from it, but there are I think there was 11 confirmed deaths yesterday from the coronavirus. And
wow.
Yeah, the numbers for infected and deaths keep rising. I really don't think I have it, but we'll let time play out and see what happens. I think I just have a cold or maybe the flu or something, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, I for one hope you feel better soon, dude, and I hope it's not coronavirus that you've got.
Yeah, I mean,
just on that, guys, I'll start interviews for Brian's replacement next Monday. So if you guys are interested, please just drop me a DM. You can join the Discord server below, all that jazz as well. Cool, thanks.
Yep, fantastic, fantastic. Yep. You know, with or without me, the show must go on. I respect that in you, Jay. There's a reason I like you so much.
All about the business, man. That's all it is.
That's right, yeah. Capitalist society we live in. All right, Mr. Petcham asking, is the Ember working for you or not what you wanted?
Yeah, it's working really well. So for those of you who don't know, he's talking about the Ember mug. This is like a smart mug. I did show off on stream last week. It's flashing orange at me in a minute because there's a tiny bit of coffee left in there. Yeah, it works really well. It keeps the coffee hot, which is what it's supposed to do. It works on the stand. It works off the stand. Yeah, it does what I need it to do when I need it to do it. I'm probably going to buy one and keep one on my desk at work as well because I've been enjoying it quite a lot. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Hi, my name is Adam. Is asking not really a question, just wanted to express my disappointment in the Canone group buy fiasco. Basically getting shafted out of $50. What went on with the Canone group buy?
So the way that the group buy was set up originally is there was never any invoices, but people were asked to pay funds to a PayPal account, which is kind of fine. It's all right. You can still send it as products and services and all of that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So people did that. They filled out a Google form to select their preferences. It's not too unusual. Now the guy behind it, who's called Milo or Milo, he hadn't arranged his PayPal account correctly or done anything with his payment provider, and they locked his PayPal account and basically gave him two choices: either wait for 6 months to be able to have access to the funds, or to refund everybody who bought one. So he refunded everyone, understandably, but still wanted the group buy to go ahead. So he's given everyone the opportunity to pay by direct bank wire transfer. Now, there's a couple of problems with that because a lot of the refunds have been coming through at slightly different amounts than what was sent because of exchange rate differences between when people paid and now. Because it wasn't done on a invoice basis, people are repaid at whatever the current exchange rate is because it's a transfer back rather than it being a refund of a paid invoice where you'd get exactly the amount back. So I think I lost about 13 British pounds doing it that way as well on the refund he gave me. And then he's asking people to pay via bank transfer, which means you can't use credit cards or anything like that, which people use for payment protection. And of course, because it's not through PayPal, there's no buyer protection either. So bank transfers are also more expensive than the fees that you typically pay on a PayPal or Shopify transaction. So there's a few different bits and pieces going around the Canone group buy, but basically, if you want to stay in there, you have to transfer the funds directly to his account in Belgium, or he'll move your spot on to someone else in the queue.
Seems kind of interesting. So would you agree that could have been handled better?
Yes. So my view on this is there's a couple of things, and I did chat to Milo before he ran the group buy, and mentioned that he probably wants to reach out to his payment providers and set everything up. And typically they want to see proof of your business accounts, proof of your in the EU it's proof of your VAT registration, tax registration documentation, all of that kind of stuff. Proof that you've got contracts in place with manufacturers and invoices to pay, and just proof that you're doing business generally, because otherwise they're taking a risk that people could do chargebacks, and you've already taken the money and run off with it. So I can completely see why payment protectors want to underwrite the risks and take that challenge. But yeah, they just want to see all of that kind of stuff. Now, I've gone through that quite recently with both Shopify and PayPal, and it takes a little bit of forefront and a little bit of work and a few discussions, but it's absolutely something you can do. When he was asking for advice about running group buy, I mentioned it to him that he should take those steps and try and make sure he's being proactive in those conversations with his payment providers. It seems that either he didn't take the right steps, or the steps that he did take didn't seem to work out for him in quite the same way as it should have done, and that's put him in this position. My view is that he could have done some other options. He could either fix his PayPal and wait and run the group buy a little bit later, still keeping those spots open for people that originally joined, or he could team up with one of the vendors in the EU to try and offer a storefront option as well. That's definitely an option to keep people's PayPal protection, buy protection, all that kind of stuff, and still give them the opportunity to use pay with credit cards, which you can't do if you're doing a direct transfer. It has to be available cash, so it has to be a debit account or a checking account transfer from that perspective. So yeah.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, it seems like it certainly didn't pan out the way that anyone was wanting, and it, excuse me, definitely, oh, excuse me, it definitely is a bummer that anyone's losing out on like additional money that they shouldn't have had to otherwise pay for the product. So that's definitely a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, so I lost about £13 in the exchange rate, and to do my bank transfer to the Belgian bank and pay for the currency exchange, I think when I checked earlier on, it was going to work out at £42. So in total, it was going to cost me, an extra £55 to join the group buy, which is about 15% of the cost of the board. So it's quite a big chunk that it's affecting people by. It makes the board a lot more expensive, and it turns it from what was a $450 board into a $500 board quite easily, which is a considerable difference. So yeah,
that's a bummer. Ray says I'm in, so I'm assuming this is where you're talking about replacing me. So,
nice. Yeah, he was in
lots of people want to apply. Hey man, applications are always open.
Stash is there as well. Visionaire, they all want in. Yeah, loads of people want to apply. Interesting.
Yeah. Stash says I'll take Brian's spot. Wow, I see how it is.
There you go.
I see how it
goes.
Oh my gosh, you guys are silly. All right, PMSing Chicken asking, what is your take on stacked acrylic keyboards? Stacked acrylic boards. So I mean, we've had those around the community for a very, very long time. It was kind of like the de facto custom for a long time too. If you look at things like winkeyless.kr, for example, who made his, I forgot his actual name, but he made his name and his success by just selling boards like the B Face and the B Mini, the B87, stuff like that. These were effectively just stacked acrylic boards with cheap bootmapper client PCBs that had underglow, and a lot of people really enjoyed them because they weren't very expensive. You could mix and match colors and layouts, and it was very accessible because it was it wasn't a group buy format. For example, you could just buy them and they would just be shipped to you, and it was easy peasy, and a lot of people enjoyed that. But I feel like a lot of people have kind of just taken over that, and now so many people are doing the exact same thing that I think there's definitely a spot in the community for it because there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of different kinds of acrylic in terms of color, in terms of translucency, things like that. You can really kind of customize the way a board looks and feels based on how you stack and portray your acrylic, and I think that's really cool, and I think it's very necessary to our community to have these really inexpensive custom boards because acrylic is dirt cheap, right? And we have so many people in the community that can actually cut acrylic now with lasers and whatnot, so it's very accessible, and I appreciate that. But I've never particularly loved acrylic stacked boards personally, but I think they could be pretty nice given the scenario.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with my Lubricante when I built that. I thought that was nice. I've never really had many stacked acrylic boards. I kind of joined after the hype of them had died down, and then it started to ramp back up again. I know that Switch Couture has just started to run some more designs. I've seen that in the past couple of days. I think his Radiance range is running well. But there's a few people doing all sorts of stacked acrylic boards, and it's an easy entryway into it, and it is what it is. So I think they'll do fine. I think, as Brian says, there's a market there for those boards at the cheaper end of the market. They can look really, really nice with all the different colors and styles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it'll always be a part of the community. It's probably not a part of the community that I want to push myself in and buy loads of boards in that kind of range. But you never know. Maybe I'll see something that jumps out at me and I want to buy it, or maybe I'll even do one of my own at some point. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, the entry level and the low end budget form of the market is what I'm always most interested in, and you can accomplish a lot with the stacked acrylic board. Sometimes take a look at the Perry 60 V2 that came out not that long ago, the Console 60 group buy, which happened just a couple weeks ago. These are like $100 class boards that effectively give you a gasket mount typing experience with a stacked acrylic board, and it actually looks pretty decent. So people are trying to innovate and trying to bring these features down to the lower end of the market, and that's what interests me the most, because anyone can design. Well, okay, I'm not going to say anyone can design, but a lot of people can design boards that cost $800 or $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever, and like it's cool, but it's designed to be that cool and that expensive. But I mean, when people can do stuff at like the $100 to $200 price point, that's when it gets really interesting to me, because that's the kind of price that most people can afford in this hobby. Let's see. Bearded Nut Inc. is asking, if you could only join one of the group buys this month, what would it be?
Man.
One keyboard this month.
Is it one keyboard or one...
Oh, I'm sorry. He says group buy
total.
So
yeah, so if I could...
So keyboard or key set in theory.
Yeah, I don't think there's any keyboards that are running right now that I have to join. I think it's more of a key set month for me. I'd have to go with Botanical. I think if I was to only pick one, certainly on the key sets, it'd be Botanical.
I gotta agree. I'm looking at the key set doc right now for this month, and there's a lot of things that I like, and there's a lot of things I'm considering buying, but the only must-buy key set for me right now is Botanical. Again, just me. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Botanical is the one I'd pick as well.
What keyboard group buys are running this month? Besides, we just talked about the Lyra, obviously, but aside from that...
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There must be something coming. I can't think. There's that many that run these days that I can't always keep track.
Yeah. Chat always knows. What keyboards are running in group buy this month?
Yeah, go on, chat. You tell us what keyboards are running.
When in doubt, I always ask chat, because... Well, chat never fails. Except for when it does.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Stash is going to be building his OSA at 12 p.m. CST on Sunday. Nice. Nice. I'll be streaming just after you then, Stash. Actually, yeah. Maybe we should host you until I start streaming.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't think of any of the keyboards that are running this month. Is the Tind going to run this month? I can't remember.
No. Has there been any news about that lately? I feel like it's been a long time since we've heard anything about the Tind.
I think he was waiting for prototypes, and Leandrin said that they were going to ship straight after Chinese New Year, so I wonder if he's got them in. Yeah. Oh, yes, Jules is going to run. Again, that's not one for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to run through the Foundry. Yes, I did see that, GHB. It's a good spot.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Jules looks pretty good. I mean, if you're a fan of the design of the Vern, then you probably also like the design of the Jules, since I think it's pretty similar, right?
I think it's almost identical. It's just a 65 instead of a TKL. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, which a lot of people like. People love the 65% in this community.
Yeah.
How my name is Adam is asking, did you see the Modern Dolch Round 2 announcement? Excuse me?
Tease, yeah. So Dixie teased Modern Dolch Round 2 on his Instagram story earlier on today, as part of the Mech Madness stuff. There was a post saying something about it. I think there were 3 or 4 images. I was half asleep when I saw it because I'd had a nap earlier on. But yes, I did see it. So Modern Dolch Round 2 is going to run this year, I believe.
Wow, interesting. So didn't it just run last month?
No, that was Modo
Light.
Light.
Modo Light, okay, wow, yeah.
This is Modern Dolch 2.
Fair enough.
Modern Dolch
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been about that. When did Modern Dolch run? Was it 2018 or was it 2019?
It definitely shipped in 2019. I think it might have run towards back end of 2018.
That sounds about right. Yeah, okay, so it's been about right. About 2 years before a redo. That's generally about how that seems to work.
18 months. It'll probably be 2 years when it ships or something. Yeah, we'll see. We don't even know when it's going to run.
Yeah.
He just said later this year. It could be December this year for all we know.
Yeah, fair enough.
10 months away.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, looks like that's caught up on the questions.
C Madrid says, I want a GMK Skeletal Round 2. It's going to happen.
It's already up on Oko, isn't it? Or it's about to be?
Or is it already up?
It's either.
Let me go check. Let me go check. Originative.
It's either up or it's about to be up.
As soon as it goes up, I will be joining that as well. Key sets. Where is it?
Yeah, because I remember they were redoing a lot of their sets, right? And that was just one of them.
Yeah, I can't see it on there at the minute. Dark Scale's still on there, and DSA Skeletor is on there, but I can't see GMK Skeletor. I don't think they have a search function either, do they?
They do. It's just hard to see.
Is it? Oh yeah, it is. It's right up at the top. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't see it at all on here. All I see is DSA Skeletor. I don't even see the GMK version. Interesting.
Yeah, and Dark Scale, but it is going to run. It is going to happen. It's going to be on there at some point soon. They have confirmed that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Faux show. All right. Frisco Mail asking, do you think a 9009/L9 text mods kit would be a successful group buy?
Text mods kit.
Text mods, huh?
I mean,
I don't know.
it's a stock color, so the MOQ wouldn't be high. It would probably do okay. Yeah, I think it'll probably do okay.
Man, now I'm like really curious. I don't know, because I feel like with a set like 9009, that colorway, it's very classic. It's very iconic. Like you want a specific look, and I feel like the icons, you just have to have those icons to deliver it, even if it's like the icon text hybrid or whatever.
There's that many of those sets that have sold through to 3 rounds of run of 9009 that I can't help but think there'll be enough people that would want the text mods to make it through to group buy.
Yeah, I don't know. What are more popular these days? Are text mods more popular than the alternatives? Because I mean, if they are, then probably. I've never really been someone that likes text mods, so I never really paid attention to how people like really felt about them. I always assumed everyone preferred them over everything else, because it seems like there's so many sets that use them now.
Yeah, I'd probably pick it up just for sake of completeness if someone ran it. So yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, it looks like we are. Yeah, we're caught up on questions, and we're just over our hard limit of 2 hours. So I think now's a good
that's
time.
all right.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Only went a couple minutes over. We're starting to get better at this timing thing, guys. Trying to keep these 2 hour episodes instead of the 3 and 3.5 hour episodes, which I know a lot of you don't like to stay up for, because a lot of you have to work tomorrow.
Yep. So, have you got any build streams coming up, Brian?
Several, but I'm waiting on switches. So shout out to Ray if he's still watching in chat. Finish my switches so I can do some build streams.
Absolutely, yeah. I've shipped you 2 boards. Well, in the morning when I get up, there'll be 2 boards shipped to you. So you'll have plenty of stuff coming in to.
I mean, for the first time in a while, I actually have a queue of like 5 or 6 things to build. I'm just waiting on switches to be returned to me, so I can build them.
Speaking of switches, where are mine, Classy? Because I'm kind of waiting for them.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
it's funny because I sent Ray some. I asked Classy if he had time to leave some switches for you, but he seemed kind of busy, so I was like, it's okay, I'll send them to Ray instead. And then Ray still hasn't looted my switches, and I sent them to him like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now it feels bad, man.
Yeah. I have got a build stream coming up on Sunday. I'm going to be building my Type X, so the Mechanisk from Leandrin Type X. This is a 4-point tray mount system, so I'm going to be building that on Sunday. I'm going to try and find my WT60D PCB for it, and I'll probably be using the Doddle carbon fiber plate that I ran in group by a little while ago. Just to have that added a flex on there as well. So I'll be building that on Sunday. I'll also be taking a look at these Jellypon keycaps, these nice green colours. I'm pretty sure there's no ISO in here though, sadly, so I might not put them on that board, but I'll put them on something to give them a try, and we'll give these a bit of a review as well.
Nice, I'm definitely looking forward to your thoughts on that. Palm caps
I'm hoping they're really good, because they are coming soon to group buy from what I understand, and there's a range of colours available. So they just asked me my favourite, and they sent me this lovely mint green colour. It's going to show up horribly. It's not going to show you really what colour it is. But they are like a really nice mint green colour. But yeah, I'm really excited to open these and try them out.
Nice. Well, all right then.
It says do not eat on the label.
Well, you gotta try one for science, right? Isn't that the cool thing to do nowadays? Eat stuff. on stream?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll try them. Maybe I'll try one. Put them in a sandwich or something.
I mean, that was
But yes,
people used to love that shit. I don't know.
yeah, it's not my kind of thing. But yeah, that'll be on Sunday, 12 noon PST, 3 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. UK time. That's when the build will take place. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Good to know. All right, guys. Well, you guys know the drill. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did. If you check below the stream, you can find links to lots of different outlets of ours, including, but not limited to, our official Discord server, as well as our YouTube channel, where all the VODs are uploaded. If you're wondering why the VODs have been 24 hours later than the live streams lately, it's because Twitch's terms of service currently say that any VODs that were streams on Twitch must wait 24 hours before they are posted elsewhere, so that's kind of why that's going on right now, which means that if you want to watch the VOD right away, you have to watch it on Twitch, otherwise you have to wait 24 hours, then I will put the YouTube video up tomorrow. So apologies for that, there's not a whole lot we can do because it's Twitch's terms of service, and this is where we stream, so it
Just
is
one of those things,
what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could have an alternative, and maybe there is one in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, not a huge deal. Yeah, so make sure to check out Jay's build stream on Sunday, and then of course catch us again next time, same place, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day, or night, depending on where you are. Enjoy the rest of your days, everyone.
Absolutely. See you later, guys.